I'm Sophia Cassiola.
And I am Michael J. Epstein.
And you're watching
Without Your Head.
All right, and we're live here once again at the Station of Decapitation Without Your Head. I'm Nasty Neil.
And I'm Terrible Troy.
I'm treacherous Trista.
And we're
I'm Dangerous Deborah Lamb.
I love it. Dangerous. I was thinking
That's
deadly,
perfect.
but I dangerous, deadly.
Yep, dangerous works.
They all work, yes. It's very cool to have the return of Deborah Lamb. We're going to go into a video here in a second to give you guys an example of what Deborah can do. She's a great actor, and it's a lot of fun, which we're going to find out here shortly. So we're going to get to this video, and then we'll be back live here with Deborah Lamb on Without Your Head. You guys can zoom in, send questions, or just watch and have a good time. That's the main part. Watch and have a good time.
Did you know that in ancient Rome, crushed amethyst was put in their wine to prevent intoxication? Frederick, my dear, dear brother. I had Fashion Week last month. You know how crazy it gets.
You want me to get that little girl coffee and donuts?
I want you to get her a fucking latte and jelly filled if that's what she wants.
Go ahead, Norman. Tell him why. Tell him how you want to abandon your sick old mother so you can go off gallivanting with any trollop dumb enough to pay you a passing glance. Oh. I should have tracked with them.
Listen, asshole! Get out of the fucking bathroom! You've done shitting! Get out there! Give me my fucking cigarette! You were supposed to go like half an hour ago or something! Do it! Get toilet paper and vodka! What the fuck are you doing here?
And we are back here once again at Without Your Head. And we're still with Deborah Lamb. And I hope everyone enjoyed the intro there. It's very cool. Get to see Deborah as a very cool vampire, by the way.
Oh,
Thank you.
And the disciples. What was that like to wear the makeup and the contacts?
You know, that was really cool. Chris Mills of Shamrock Labs, he did the demon makeup in it's vampire / demon makeup in a film I did called Disciples. And you were asking me earlier if that was Nick Principe who I'm ripping his heart out, and yeah, that's Nick. And that was a very cool movie to be in. I'm actually one of the co-executive producers on that film as well.
Wow.
But that film had everyone in it. It was Bill Moseley, Debbie Rochon, Linnea Quigley, Brink Stevens, Kaylee Williams, Alyssa Dowling, Melanie.
That is pretty loaded.
Yeah, Melanie Robel, Tony Todd, and some other people. Nice. I know I'm forgetting somebody, but also, I'm trying to think who I'm forgetting. Oh, Angus Scrim.
Oh man,
Angus Scrim. Let's see, who am I forgetting?
Totally badass.
And I actually killed Tony Todd in Disciples.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a good bragging point. I know, getting to kill Tony Todd, I think.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think the film, it did not have enough marketing behind it. So I think it's one of those films that it just didn't get quite the attention when it was released and came out. But it's a good film. I mean, everyone's in it. Oh my God, everyone. So that's one.
And it's on Amazon Prime now for free if you have Amazon Prime.
Is it for free? I wasn't sure. I know it's on there. Oh, okay. And but yeah, that makeup took a very long time to do. It was very well done. As you can see for yourself, pretty good. It looked pretty good, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do the things in the eyes.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Some people have problems with contacts, but I've
I
worn.
hate it.
Yeah, I've
Really?
I've done it several times. It doesn't seem to bother me.
I mean, I'll do it if you
Yeah.
want me to.
If anyone's out there
But
watching.
it's not my favorite.
No, of course you will. Yeah, but yeah, you and me, Trista, we've done a lot of like special effects type of appliances and just different things, and blood, lots of blood.
By the way, how did you two meet, Trista and Deborah?
Deborah came to the premiere of Purgatory Road.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And I was so impressed with it, and I loved meeting Mark Savage, and I was familiar with Mark Savage, and I was a little bit familiar with you, Trista. I wasn't sure. I think I can't remember if we were already friends on Facebook or not, but you know, I saw the film, and I think there were a few other people there who I knew, and remember, Trista, after the film, we had such a good time just standing outside, yakking, you and me and Mark and a couple other people were talking with us, but I love Trista in that so much. It's a really, really good film. I was really blown away, and you know, people ask me all the time, they assume that I'm all about horror, that horror is my favorite genre, and I'm a horror actress. And, you know, I don't like to correct people, you know, when they say that, because I'm like, well, you know, I'm an actor. I've been in lots of comedies and dramas and serious films and horror, but they just assume that all I've done is horror. And I've done my share, but I really have not, you know, like some other people I know, they've done a couple hundred films, and most of those are horror films. And, you know, sure, I've done my share of horror, but, you know, it's not nearly to that extent. So, you know, when I watch horror films, you know, it's not that I just love every horror film I see. You know, I have a discerning palate. So, you know, but there are a lot of horror films that I really love, and Purgatory Road was done very well. And Trista, you stole the show. You really did.
Thank you.
You really did. I gotta say, I know Trista told me not to do this, but I gotta say, no matter what I see Trista in, she steals the show. You do. And okay, so I saw you in Echoes of Fear that I was raving to you about. That was so good. That Purgatory Road was very good. But I got to tell you, Echoes of Fear, because horror films don't scare me. They really don't. I mean, a few do, like The Exorcist, the what's it called? Amityville Horror. You know, the original one. And there's a couple horror films that really still scare the bejesus out of me. But I was watching Echoes of Fear, and I was really just on the edge of my seat. I was totally like with the jump scares, you know, that those usually don't really get me, but a couple of them did. I'm like, oh my God, holy shit. There was a couple times I jumped up and, you know, went, ah, you know, so well done.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I swear I didn't ask to have Deborah on to plug my work.
No, tell me not to, but I can't help it.
Thank you.
Anyway. But yeah, so ever since then, Trista and I have been great friends, and and then we had a couple times we had the opportunity to hang out together, like you know, there was a Dark Delicacy thing, and we were hanging out there, and then we were hanging out after with a bunch of people. So, you know, we've gotten a chance to, you know, actually physically hang out together. So that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to talk about a film that you're in that I'm a huge fan of. And I don't know if you guys have seen it, but if you haven't, you should. It's on YouTube. It's a short film called Kissing Time.
Oh,
You watched it?
No.
Yes, I'm a huge fan of this film, and it's so unique. That could you talk about it a little? I know you want to plug newer things, but please talk about it because it's a fascinating film.
Well, Thank you. I will talk about it. And Neil, later on, I can send you Kissing Time if you want to plug in
definitely.
a little bit of the footage. Go ahead. But so Kissing Time is one of my all-time favorite films that I've done. And it won awards. It was actually done at UCLA, and the filmmaker is Fred Cassidy, who I got back in touch with him, because of Facebook. And he is the most charming man. He's gone on to become a French translator for films. He does a lot of things, but he's, I may not be right about this, but I think he's a professor in something. I'm pretty sure, something like that. But I know he teaches, and he's fluent in French, and I don't know if he's actually French, but he looks French. He was doing this black and white film, and I auditioned. I remember auditioning for him, and I was really excited when I got the role. And then we were shooting, and I was just so impressed with just his creativity, the way he shot things and how he got certain shots, because you saw it, Trista, so you can see how creative it is. So it's basically about a young man who kind of got I don't know how to say it, he got bamboozled into getting engaged to this wealthy woman, and she feels like she's got him between a rock and a hard place, which is actually one of the things. It's a silent film. It's done in like a 1920s style, and they have the cards that have the little words on them. And so one of the things is, you see, it says, "I got him between a rock and a hard place," and she's like, ugh. So she's at her engagement party, and she's looking around for her fiance, who's isn't he adorable with those glasses? So cute.
Yes.
And
I agree.
very, very cute. So we did this scene where I'm behind, she's looking for him, and she catches us behind this curtain. She slowly opens this curtain, and this curtain comes open, and I'm back there, and he's kissing my arm like the Morticia thing, up my arm. It's so cute. And so she catches us, and you have to see it. I'll send it to you, and I'll show you the little part to play, because it's just really cute. And then he goes on, of course, she's pretty upset with him, and he goes home. And then you got to see the thing with the cat. The cat. It's so, oh gosh. Okay, you got to see it. So I don't want to describe it, because I don't want to.
Right. Plus, it's a short.
It's hard to describe. It's sort of like German expressionism. Yeah. It's very profound. It's very well done.
So then he sleepwalks. He goes home. He goes to bed. He sleepwalks, and then he's transported into this whole other world. And myself and his fiance are in his dream, and I play space and she's time, or is it the other way around? I don't know. But anyway, you have to see it. It's beautifully done, and to this day, it's among the very top favorite things I've ever been in. So cool. Oh, and along with Mother.
All right, I'm intrigued. This sounds so good.
Yeah. Is that something you look for when you're taking roles, or something that interests you, or something unique? Or
yes, absolutely. I get if I've done a certain type of film, we'll talk about this later. Like I did a found footage film with Michelle Nessk and Tonya.
She's here watching.
Oh, good. She's watching. Yeah, we'll get to her later, because we're going to bring her on a little bit later, and I've got the trailer. But like I did that's a found footage film, so I did that with her. And then last year, sometime around like late last year, before all this stuff happened, I was asked. Somebody asked me to, they wanted to cast me in a found footage film, and it's like if I've already done one thing and I felt like that was a good project, unless it's something I feel that's going to be really, really outstanding, I don't want to repeat myself. Same with the types of roles, that like if I'm playing, I've played a few mothers now, and I do enjoy playing mothers. Oh, speaking of mother, we got to talk about mother in a minute. But if I've done one type of role in a type of mother, I don't want to just keep doing the same thing. So, I'll turn those kind of things down just because I don't want to, I want to be challenged. I want to do something that excites me. And if I really don't feel like I'm going to get excited, I just don't. Even, friends of mine, I love my friends and I support them with their projects that they're doing. But if I'm not being offered something I feel I can get excited, really excited about, then I just don't want to do it.
You mentioned that you co-produced one of the movies earlier. Do you do that often, on the creative side?
Well, I've done it, and I do enjoy the producing side of things. And I was the co-executive producer of Disciples. I was an executive producer on A Blood Story. And so something really sad happened. I'm sure, I don't know if you know him, Trista, but you probably know him, Neil. Our dear friend Michael O'Hear passed away.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah.
I don't know if it was yesterday.
I've been to Buffalo a lot, and I know he's big in the Buffalo film community.
Did you know him, Trista? Michael O'Hear?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Or Troy? Okay.
No.
Yeah, well, Michael and O'Hear and I, we didn't get the chance to work together, but we were friends, and we would talk to each other on the phone and commiserate, and he was so sweet. Oh, I know why it got brought up is because I was a producer or co-producer, whatever the title was, on a film called Dry Bones, and that was produced or directed and written by Gregory Lambertson.
Right. He runs Buffalo Dreams Fantastic Film Festival, which that's actually where I saw Echoes of Fear for the first time. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. So do you know Gregory, Trista?
Not personally, no.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, what about you, Troy?
No.
He's been on the show, but you've never met him. I met him lots of times.
Yeah, so I was a producer on Dry Bones, and I was never at any point supposed to be in it, or it wasn't about casting. I was just another actress was actually going to be in it first, and I was really good friends with her, and then something happened, so then Debbie Rochon took her place for that leading role in Dry Bones. So Gregory was saying, well, did you still want to be a producer? And I said, sure. Debbie Rochon is also a really good friend of mine, so I want to follow through, because I said that I would invest a little and help them out. So that's how Michael O'Hear and I became familiar with each other, and then that was quite a while ago. I don't know how many years, but it was a while ago. So we became friends, and then we always talked about working together. And I know he was. Oh, and then Tim O'Hearn is a good friend of his, and so all those guys over there. And my other friend too, Paul McGinnis. Yeah. Okay. Well, they're all friends. They're all the Buffalo.
I know Tim though. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all the Buffalo people. So I know all of those guys. I haven't been over there, and I haven't directly worked with them, but I know them all, and I've been friends with them all for years. But Michael O'Hearn and I, we would actually talk on the phone, not like a ton, but fairly often. And so when I saw that first I saw that he was in a hospice, and I was like, what happened? Because I talked to him not that long ago, and then of course I got the news that he passed away. I saw, and it's just very sad. So I want to just anybody out there who's listening and who knows Michael, my condolences. My condolences to Gregory. I know all those people at Debbie Rochon. They were all very close, so it's very sad. Yeah. But yeah. So I was a producer on Dry Bones, and there was a couple of other films I helped out. At one point, I was, I had a really good job. I worked with a company called Granger for 10.5 years. And, you know, I wasn't making a ton of money, but I was at that time able to, you know, help out on a few productions. And like Disciples and A Blood Story, I was very involved with. And on A Blood Story, I did pretty much, I was in it too, but I did pretty much every job, you know, transportation, you know, behind the scenes production work, craft service, makeup, wardrobe. I mean, I freaking did everything. So, but anyway, yeah. So yes, I do enjoy doing stuff behind the scenes. Like right now, I'm going to be in a film called You Like to Draw with a question mark. You Like to Draw is the name of the movie, and the director is my dear friend Todd Ernest Braley. And I had gone to Colorado. When was it? It was it was March of 2019. I went over there because we did a trailer. Did a bunch of scenes for a trailer for a film called Paradise Road. Well, Paradise Road is put on hold for a bunch of reasons. But meanwhile, he wrote a script, and it was originally going to be a short film for You Like to Draw. So I talked him into making it a feature film. I said, hey, Todd, this is really good. Don't just make it a short, you know, go all the way with this, because you don't want to blow the pooch. You don't want to, it's screw the pooch. You don't want to screw the pooch.
We don't want to do either, I don't think. Yeah.
I'm like, Todd, you don't want to blow your wad. Come on, make it a feature film. Go all the way with this. So I kind of talked him into it. And then I gave him a bunch of storyline ideas, and he was so sweet because he gave me a story by credit, well, additional, whatever the credit is. I don't know. He gave me credit. So, but we're going to be doing that. We're going to be shooting that in Colorado end of August. And so, but we have a group page. We have 2 pages. We have a regular film page or movie page. Whatever. It's called You Like to Draw with a question mark. And then we have a group page that I've been inviting all my friends to join the group page. So everybody out there listening, join the group page for You Like to Draw. And you can feel free to post your artwork. And what this film is about is it's about a is this too much boobage? Is that too much right there?
No, I think everyone's
You look great.
Yeah. Use that for the thumbnail. Hits through the roof on YouTube.
Oh, cover his eyes. Cover his eyes.
You're going to poke your eye out. You're going to poke your eye.
You'll poke your eye out, kid.
But anyway.
Killer Rack, by the way, is a Gregory Lamberson film.
I know. Yes. I still haven't seen that one yet, but I gotta see that one. And one of my favorite films of Gregory's, it is my favorite film, is Johnny Gruesome.
Yeah, that's very
so
good.
It's so good. Whoever out there has not seen Johnny Gruesome, I think it's on Tubi or Shudder.
Yeah, I think it might be on. I don't know about Shudder, but I think it is on Tubi.
It's on Tubi then, because I saw it. It's so good. So anyway.
Yeah, and Craig Lindbergh, who calls into the show a lot, he did the effects in that.
It was really good. Really, really good. Where was I? I was talking about You Like to Draw,
yeah. So because you were saying you can go and put your artwork up on the Facebook page.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can do that. But in the group page, I've invited tons and tons of friends, and a couple people put up artwork, and I'm thinking that's a great idea. People should put their artwork on there. So what it is, it's a story about a young woman played by Bree Frank, and she plays Ellen, who's a young woman who was in a car accident and suffered traumatic brain injury. And so I don't want to give anything away, but there's, a lot of family dynamics between her mother and her grandmother and her sister. And then I play her physical therapist. And so I'm encouraging her to get back into doing her art, because she used to be an artist and she has art all over her room. And then, but she has difficulty with mobility in her hands, and she's in a wheelchair. So she feels like she just can't do it. Like it's impossible. She can't do it. So you'll have to see it. I finished reading the script and I'm like,
Well, that's a good endorsement.
It is, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Yeah, it's really good. I don't want to give too much away, but it's about a young woman and she's struggling to, with her just life and, like we all are.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's going to be a very powerful film, and I'm very pleased and proud to be a part of this project. And I love Todd and all the people that are involved with this. I'm very excited.
So what are you doing right now currently? We're going to get some more of these projects here, but right now, people can't really film, which I guess people are starting to a little bit, but what have you been doing?
Well, I was down in LA. Oh wait, something's coming up on my thingy. Okay. Yeah, I was in LA shooting at the beginning of March. I was working on one of my current films, The Desist Won't Desist, and we do have a trailer for that, which we can play in a minute if you like.
Yeah.
And so I was there shooting. We were shooting a bunch of scenes, and then of course this whole coronavirus started up, and we had plans. We shot the first weekend in March, and then we had plans to shoot a couple weeks later. But then that shoot, things just started falling apart with people getting nervous, and so that just kind of fell apart. So we just postponed it, but we're back on track, and we should start up again the end of July to finish that one, or at least shoot some more of that one. And do you want to play the trailer?
I'm just going to get ready, so finish what you're saying. And
Yeah, so we'll watch the trailer for the Desist Won't Desist. But that's the director is my dear friend Mark Pirro. I love working with my friends. It's so much fun. So Mark Pirro, we go way, 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 way back. Is that too many ways?
Just enough ways.
No way. So, but we do go way back, because about a little over 30 years ago, I did a film called Row Gameshow with him.
Oh, really?
I
like the name.
Yeah. It was the studio was Crown International, I think, and it was not one of the ones that Mark totally produced. I mean, he produces everything, but it was a studio film, or kind of sort of a studio film. I can't remember the details, but anyway, it was a big film, and it was so silly. So it's basically it's a comedy. So the people on death row are brought on this game show, and the game show host is Chuck Todan, I think, played by my dear friend John McCafferty, who's in The Desist Won't Desist, and he's the game show host. Now remember Vanna White?
Of course, yeah. From Wheel of Fortune.
So I'm the show's Vanna White. So I'm Shanna Shallow. So I do a lot of this. I'm standing in front of things doing this. Actually, I'm too close to do that. It's like, that, or like this.
Presenting.
I'd like to buy a vowel.
We were talking about boobs yesterday, right, Trista?
We were?
Yeah.
It's news to Trista.
No, on Twitter, I was talking about, you were saying something, I said.
Oh, yeah.
She was enjoying the gifts. Is that what you call it?
Oh,
gifts?
the gifts, yes.
Yeah, you're the queen of that.
I forgot I was going to mention that in the intro.
The queen of gifts. Yeah. So then
I forgot the tiara too.
I said something about I I'm happy that it's entertaining and making you happy because, that's all I want to do is, make people smile, make people happy. And then I said, and then when I'm dead, you can stuff me only and then stick me up somewhere. So I'm like, hi, I don't know, in the corner somewhere. And then it's like, oh, look, there's Deborah Lamb. Oh, wait.
Right next to my bookshelf here. We can add to
Okay. But you have to make my boobs. But you have to make my boobs like really overstuffed, like super, super big, just for entertainment value, if nothing
But then no one will look at Neil.
No one does anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, you can stick it behind you while you're doing your stuff.
Right. It'll match the other stuffed corpses I have behind me, behind the bookcase. That's why I put the bookcase up to block the things I do have back here.
Right. So what was I talking about? Let's see.
Well, I do have the trailer ready if we would like to go to the Desist.
I'll say one more thing. Yeah. So if you watch, it's available somewhere, like on Amazon or something. I don't know. I know it's out there. You can get it. So if you find Death Row Game Show, it's like I said, it's very, very way over the top. It's about convicts who are in death row, and then they're brought on the show, and then if they win whatever contest is going on at that particular moment, if they win, they get a stay of execution. But if they lose, they get executed right there on the show.
Oh wow.
So
I like that concept.
Yeah, so I'm Shanna Shell. So with one of the contestants, which was some mob boss's mother. So they got really, it's part of the plot. A mob boss's, oh no, this is the mob boss himself, not the mother. Okay, so I'm doing this thing called the dance. Wait, what was it again? Oh yeah, it was called the Dance of the Seven Boners.
I'm so glad you remembered that.
I'm very familiar with that move.
So you gotta look out for the Dance of the Seven Boners. It is pretty fun. So anyway, that goes into me working with Mark Pirro again on the Deceased Won't Desist. Go ahead, show him.
All right, we will return.
Mr. Barnett was a very intelligent man.
Listen, sorry, phlegm throat.
What's his death have anything to do with you?
Apparently I'm one of his beneficiaries.
Looks like we're heirs to some rich guy's fortune.
I have no idea who he is.
First I buy a house, then I buy a yacht, then I buy hookers.
You've all been invited here because in one way or another, you have affected Mr. Barnett's life. And he plans to give every one of you exactly what he believes you deserve.
We have my lovely lush of a wife, Erica.
Bastard.
Bitch. Dr. Tony Whitney and his wife, Cheryl. Is that animal house of a clinic still thriving?
Hey, Cheryl, think quick.
Oh, sorry about that. The doctor just flung a fetus at me.
Revenge is a dish best served cold. And you don't get much colder than me.
Well, we are back live here once again, and we're still joined by Deborah Lamb. We get to see the trailer. Everyone's watching it here at the moment.
Great.
Yes. You got a little low on us here, Deborah.
What's that?
Deborah's a little low for me. Is she low for everyone else, the volume?
Am I low? What do you mean?
Yeah, the volume is
Your
a little
volume.
lower than it was.
It is? Hello?
Yeah, you're a little like tinny now.
Oh, no! Oh, this happened before. Should I go out and come back in?
Yeah, maybe we'll try that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be right back here, people. Well, we can sit here and talk. So I did add some stuff here. I like to just ask for free stuff. So if people want to send in stuff.
Sometimes they give them to.
Right. But I will say, the hat.
Oh, wait.
Thanks, James Balsamo.
Wait, I never did leave. Hang on.
All right. She was just making sure we didn't say anything while she was gone.
That's right.
You're still here.
Can you hear me better? Is it better or is it the same?
No, it's still the same currently.
Hang on. Let me see if I can figure this out.
All right, no problem. And also the shirt, thanks. Well, this is James Balsamo, Acid Bath Productions. Thank you. And the shirt is courtesy of The Good Exorcist, which you can find at Flush Studios. And we played it last weekend. Really cool movie.
I have the...
And it's on Amazon Prime right now. Oh, Severed Limbs. Very good. Good man.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, perfect.
Yay.
Oh, yes.
We have success.
Yeah, this happened to me before on
All
another... Yeah, okay. So I'm back.
Yeah, no worries. Good. Yeah, we can hear you good.
So everybody just saw the Desist Won't Desist trailer. So this is a fun film I'm working on with Mark Pirro, and he's done several films that are, you know, extremely funny. I just, his writing cracks me up. When I was reading the script for this, I was literally like really, really laughing. More than just like, oh, that's amusing. I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. So anyway, and I was really excited to work with him again because, I mean, it's been over 30 years since I worked with him. And, you know, we were out of touch for many years, but, you know, thanks to Facebook, we got back in touch. And so, you know, I've hung out with him at his place many, many, many times. And he has movie nights where a couple of his friends will come over and watch movies. And so I've been to his house several times for movie night, and it's just a lot of fun. So then when he, you know, he had told me a while back, oh, I'm working on this script, and I'm like, okay, there better be a part in there for me. And so, you know, and then I read the script, and he offered me one part, which was a smaller role, but because the role that I'm playing now was actually going to go to somebody else, who's a famous comedian, but you know, she was busy doing other things. So I'm like, okay, well, if she doesn't do it, you know. So then she passed on it. So then now I'm doing that role. So I was really pleased with that because, you know, I'm just having a lot of fun with it. So I'm Erica, the gold digging bitch.
That sounds like a fun role.
Yeah. And if everybody just saw the trailer, so you saw me. So anyway.
Yeah. And totally out of character.
Yes. So we were working on that when this all came down. And then the other project I was working on right around then was Men in Black West Coast, directed and written by Chris. I always say his last name wrong. Chris. No, I always say Notarali, but that's totally not how you say it.
That's actually how I thought it was said too, so they're pronounced.
See? But it's not. Do you know how to say it? Because I always
because I thought it was Notarali. So
it's not. It's
maybe it's Notarile. I don't know.
Oh, he'll have to tell me again. Yeah. You know, I talk to him all the time, and I feel like I'm such a dork. You know, it's like every time I talk to him, how do you say your last name again? You know, so I'm like, okay, whatever. I give up. But anyway, I worked with him on this. I first worked with him earlier last year sometime. I don't remember. I can't remember anything anymore. And so I worked on his fan film. No, that one is not a fan film. It's an original story by him called Frenzy. He did this series called Frenzy starring Danny Scott. And I was in Frenzy 3. Mm-hmm. It just so happened, coincidentally, and I had nothing to do with it, was Danny Scott, Mark Pirro somehow found Danny Scott, and he cast her in The Desist Won't Desist. And then we were at the reading, and I had just worked with her like a month or two before. I totally didn't even recognize her, you know, and I had just worked with her. Of course, in Frenzy 3, she is all in blue makeup, so maybe, you know. But still, that's no excuse. So it's just, I don't know, I'm brain dead or something. So then I realized it was her, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Danny. I just worked with her. What's wrong with me? So anyway, but yeah, I worked on Frenzy 3 with him, and then and then he brought me back for Mother, which we will talk about, which was in the intro. And then he cast me in Mother, and we did that. And then the next thing I'm working on with him is called Men in Black West Coast. And of course, it's a fan film, as was Mother. And so I'm looking forward to doing that. We had it all set up, but then coronavirus, right? So we had to postpone it, but we are going to be getting back to that. Now, he has a couple other things he's going to do first, but then we're going to get back and do Men in Black West Coast. So I'm really excited about that. The story's great, so I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're going to talk about Mother. I'll play the video here in a minute, but that's like huge shoes to fill. To this is an iconic horror movie, arguably the best horror movie of all time, one of the best movies of all time. So to take on that role, I would think would have to be kind of daunting.
I was nervous. I was nervous. For one, a lot of people have seen Mother. They've seen it. And I've gotten so many rave reviews for that, and I'm so lucky to have done it. I think I'm pretty sure Chris basically, I mean, he's told me that he basically had me in mind for it all along. I mean, it's not like he just had me in mind to do it, and because I had worked with him on Frenzy 3, and so I was really happy about that. So when we went to shoot it, I was extremely nervous. For one, I do have a different cadence and accent in this, and it's an accent that I really haven't done before, so I was sweating it. For one, it's Mother from Psycho, which is big shoes to fill, and then so just the acting the character and getting into the character and getting into the head of playing Norman Bates's mother, but then the accent too. So I was sweating it. I'm like, I can't fuck up on this one. This is a big deal. If I fuck up, if I do the accent bad, if I don't hit it right, or if for some reason my character development for the mother or how I portray it isn't right, I'm going to get slammed. So, because it was a big deal. And I told Chris too, when we were done shooting, I was like, I still wasn't sure. I felt pretty good about it, but I wasn't really sure. And I'm like, I said to Chris, he was driving me home, and I said, I just hope I can't remember the exact words I said. I hope I live up to the expectations of the fans of Psycho. And he said, don't worry, you got it. So when I saw it, I finally saw it, I was very pleased. I'm like, oh, phew. I was so relieved. I was like, oh, good, I got it. I thought, there was, I'm so nitpicky, but I'm thinking, there's a little like word here or there. It's like, maybe I didn't quite get it. Like, I could have been more perfect on just this one word, but I'm pretty picky. Well, but I think
killed it. You killed it.
Okay, so you saw it.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I'm a huge Psycho fan. So honestly, going in, I was a little apprehensive, to be honest. But just the idea, not because you're in or anything, just the idea of someone making a fan film of Psycho was like, I don't know.
Before you saw it, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, it totally worked for me. I thought it was great. Even though the look of it, the performance, everything about it.
Yeah.
And the lighting, Chris is a master when it comes to lighting, and he just has so many really good technical tricks, and he had a very, very specific idea of how he wanted all three of the characters to be portrayed. So he did give very specific directions, which helped a lot because I really thought a couple times, I'm thinking, I felt like I was going way over the top, like too much. But then when I saw it, I'm like, no, that totally works. It totally works. So, he had very specific directions, but he's a very good director, and I'm excited to be working with him again. He's very talented.
Yeah, and we did the Severed Limbs Film Festival a couple months ago, and that was everyone loved it, and you won Best Female Performance, and it also won Best Male Performance for both.
I watched the one watch party you had, and I watched the whole thing. You had it was like a film festival, online film festival thing, the Severed Heads thing, and you were showing a lot of
it was 38 shorts, so yeah.
That was a lot, and I stuck through it too, through the whole thing. So there was
so interesting.
Yeah, and that was a lot of films, but it was cool too. Oh, and my friend Tim O'Hearn's thing was in it.
Pumpkin Bitch.
Oh yeah, that was a great one too.
And so I saw that Mother was shown, and that was great. And then you were going to have, that was just the film festival part of it. And then you were going to have, I didn't even know the awards thing. I knew it was some kind of awards thing, but I didn't realize that Mother was a part of it. I had no idea. So I wasn't able to watch the live thing when you were showing it. I saw that it was up, but I was busy and I couldn't watch it. So I figured, I'll watch it on YouTube when I had to turn the air on. It's hot. And
very hot here too.
Hot. And so I couldn't watch it, and nobody said anything, and I had no idea.
I'm glad they did, because that would be a fun surprise.
Nice surprise it.
But I didn't even know that Mother was going to be in it.
Right.
And so then, so I finally got around to watching the thing, and I put it on the TV, and I was watching it with my husband. And then Debbie Rochon comes on, and I said to him, oh, my friend Debbie Rochon, because I love Debbie Rochon. We go way back. And I was thrilled to see her present, and then she's showing the one female performer, and this, and then the other one, and then me, and she said Deborah Lamb. I'm like, what? And so, she showed her, and then she went back to talking about gearing up to say who the winner was, and then it was me. I was like, yay! And so you can play the little clip from your but you can hear me. I'm like, yay!
Yeah, it's very cool. You're very excited, and she was excited that you won too, because I didn't know going in that that both of you knew each other or anything.
Yeah.
I just happened to ask her because I'm friends with her too. She's great. She set up some guests on the show. Very nice person.
Oh, I love, and she has a long history of doing a lot of things for Fangoria magazine. I think she had radio shows before, and then plus she was
she was a co-host on the Fangoria Radio with Dee Snider.
Yeah, and I never listened to the radio show, but I knew she did, and she was a contributor to the magazine, and way back, Chiller Theater back in 1993, and she was there, and a bunch of us were there. Melissa Moore, and who I don't know if you know, she has done a lot of films, and we worked together on a film called The Invisible Maniac, which is really funny, by the way. And so she was there, and oh gosh, I can't even think who was there. Oh, I think it was Billy Bob was there. I don't remember.
Joe Bob, maybe?
Joe, I'm sorry. Forgive me, Joe Bob. No, I don't think he was there that year. But he was a thing at the time. He's a big thing now, of course. I would love to be on a show. I wonder if it could happen. But I had a character around that time. Deborah is Starstruck. It was 93 calendar. Maybe I'll pull it out. I don't know if I have one. Oh, I do. I know this. And maybe I'll give it to you. And were good days. Those were good days. But we knew each other from back in the 80s. So that was a big thrill. And the way, so cool. She was so excited for me. And, show it. Play it.
Yeah, we're going to play it right now. And by the way, another connection, she's also friends with, you might have mentioned this earlier, with Gregory Lamberson. And she's in a lot of his movies, Slime City Massacre and Killer Rack and a lot of them. So we're going to play that clip right now.
And Dry Bones.
All right. Yeah, I've not seen Dry Bones, actually, but I need to see that.
It was good. Yeah.
Debra Lamb in Mother.
Tell him how you want to abandon your sick old mother so you can go off gallivanting with any trollop dumb enough to pay you a passing glance.
And the winner of the top 3, all are winners, the winner of the top 3 is Debra Lamb.
Yeah, all right.
Debra, I've known you since late 80s, and so I, really want to congratulate you. And, they spared no expense. You could see the letterhead. It's like there was really no expense spared for this amazing piece of paper.
Yay!
I'm proud of all these ladies. And let's face it, it makes a lot of sense. The Betsy Palmer Award, it all comes down to Mother, doesn't it? At the end of the day.
Thank you!
It's Mother.
Nagging?
I've never met Debbie either. I just I've known her for a few years from the show and stuff.
Well, I'm very, very to have gone to work with her. We were friends long before we did actually get on Disciples, and Trista, we're just talking about Disciples. And Debbie, of course, is excellent in it. And I just really loved working with those people. It was like a reunion. I hadn't seen those people in so long, and then I got in a film with all of them: Brink, Linnea, Debbie Rochon, a bunch of other people. Cool. I feel like I'm missing somebody, and I know I'm missing somebody. But anyway, it was just really awesome, very awesome. Yeah. So you got to send me the that picture of that award thing. Oh, and you're still working on trying to get it onto IMDb, right?
What was that? I'm sorry.
You're working on getting the awards onto IMDb.
Yeah, my friend Michael told me that it has to be up. It has to be something that's been around for like 5 years.
Oh, really?
But, he gave me some pointers how to actually get around that because he's done it before. So.
Good. Yeah, you got to put that festival on the IMDb too.
Yes.
I mean, in like your shows, because you have these shows, and they're listed.
Oh yeah, the actual show, you mean?
Yeah, because you had the show, and you can just put it on there.
Yeah, Jason, who does our written reviews, he put all the. That was a lot of work. He put all the shows since 2006 up on IMDb.
Wow!
Oh, wow!
Very cool of them, but yeah, that would have taken a lot of work. But
since 2006.
Yep. Yeah, we started in 2006. Our first guest ever on the show was Sid Haig.
Wow!
I'm very happy about. Yeah.
I have a Sid Haig story.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's your Sid Haig story?
Well, it's not that exciting, but it's but I worked with him. Way back in the olden days, but before the horse and carriage. I was in this film. That was a joke, people. Oh my God. Okay, I admit it wasn't that funny. All right, so back in the 80s, towards the beginning of my career, I got to work with Fred Olin Ray for the first time on a film called Warlords, and it starred David Carradine and Sid Haig. So now my friend Michelle Bauer, who I actually just talked to the other day, and she's doing really well. She was a big staple in the Fred Olin Ray group of actresses. Brink Stevens. She was one of the original Scream Queens. Brink Stevens. It was always Linnea Quigley, Brink Stevens, and Michelle Bauer. So she was in it, and her and I were running away from these terrible toxic mutant people who looked like, I mean, what I really think was going on back in that movie, it was everybody had coronavirus because, they had full, decked out in these full like PPE, personal protection equipment, covered in whatever they were covered in, these plastic suits and the things and the big gas masks. And so they were after us. And we were running, as girls do through these movies. And, we're tripping and falling and they catch us. And then the next thing I know, I've been sold into the harem of Sid Haig.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I was Sid Haig's, one of Sid Haig's harem girls.
Well, I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, what's the title again?
It's called Warlords. It's back in the late 80s, early 90s. I think it was 1990, And so I got to work with Sid. It was fun. And then I was fortunate enough to run into Sid. I went to the Hanukkah premiere, his film Hanukkah in Hollywood. And
the first one or the second one? Because it premiered a couple years ago, and then they did like the I don't know what it's called, the official premiere or something in December of last year.
That's the one.
Oh, really? I was there too. Yeah.
No, it wasn't December last year. Wasn't it December the year before?
Well, they had two. They had the rough cut that premiered 2 years ago. That's probably when you were at, because then they had the finished film because they re-edited it. That premiered this December. That's when I was.
Oh no, I was at the one in December
2018.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't at that one. I was just saying that's weird. We were both there and we didn't see each other.
Oh no! So he was there with PJ Soles, who I also worked with PJ Soles on a film called Born, also known as Merchants of Death. So, but they were together. I guess PJ was helping out Sid. She's a dear friend of his, so I think she helps him around. So she was there with him, and I got to say hello, and I just happened to have in my phone a picture of me from Warlords that I got to show him, and he's like, oh yeah. Well, that seems kind of familiar to me, but so that's cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, when I was there, he had already passed away, so he wasn't.
Oh, that's sad.
But really nice guy. Like I said, he was the first guest on the show, and I hosted panels with him and had dinner. It was really cool. One of the highlights of doing the show is I had dinner with him and Ed Neal and some of the people in Texas, and just listening to the stories from Sid Haig, because a lot of people think of playing Captain Spaulding, but he's been around since like the old cowboy TV days. So he was like old westerns on television, and just they're around like everywhere, and so many stories.
Before I ever met him, when I was growing up watching TV, I would see him on TV on the TV shows from the 70s.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah. And then
Buck Rogers, and he'd just show up any place.
He was everywhere. Yep. Another actor who I worked with on Born, it's BORN, that stood for Body Organ Replacement Network, but it's also known as Merchants of Death. But that starred PJ Soles, Russ Hagen, bunch of people. Oh, the lady from, oh my God, Amanda from the Western show, but not Bonanza, was the other one. Red hair, Miss Kitty.
Oh yeah, not Big Valley. What was that one?
It was not that one. It was, but you know who I'm talking about, right? Amanda. Yep. God, what's her last name? Anyway, I don't have a computer in front of me that I can just hop on IMDb. But so she was in it. Clint Howard. Clint Howard.
Nice.
Clint Howard attacks me in that one.
That was a very intense role for you, Deborah.
Did you see it?
I did. It's also for free if you have Amazon Prime.
Oh,
You
wow.
should check it out. Yeah.
You watched it?
Yeah, of course I watched it. I'm a Deborah Lamb fan.
Well, when did you see it?
Just the past day or so.
No way. Oh my God.
It's for free if you're a member of Prime. Yeah, you should check it out, everybody.
Oh, well, that's so sweet of you watching my movies.
Of course.
I watch all of your movies too. I'll tell you about it. I watched you in another movie. I'll tell you about that in a second. But Clint Howard. So that was an intense scene, right, Trista, with me and Clint Howard?
Yeah, it's intense. That was scary.
You know, I got to tell you, so I found out because what they did was they chopped up that scene like terribly. I was so upset when I saw that scene, how it turned out in the film, because that scene had a lot more going on in there, and you could see how intense it was just the little bit that they showed. But they took out the audio for the voices for the dialogue, and they just put in like this music so you don't hear what we're saying. But like I'm pleading with him, and then I'm crying for my daddy, you know, and it's really intense. And apparently Russ Hagen unfortunately Russ Hagen and his wife, God, I have trouble remembering everything. His wife, I know her name, but I can't think of it. Was it Clarice? No, that wasn't it. Oh, I know her. They're wonderful people, and they're really, really dear friends of Fredel and Ray, but they're gone now, unfortunately. But yeah, he told me that the financiers, the investors of the film, were very religious, and that scene, they told them to chop it up like that because it was too much. So, but I was thinking, you know, I was very happy with that scene. In fact, after we were done with that scene, I was so emotional for hours after that, like really emotional. And but I felt it was really good work, and I was proud of it. And then so to see it chopped up the way they chopped it up, just kind of was very disappointing, but you know, it happens. But you know who else was in it? Was Clint Howard's parents.
Really?
Ron Howard's
Oh,
parents.
nice.
Yeah. Rance Howard and Grace Howard, they were in it. Oh my God, I have worked with some amazing freaking people.
No doubt.
Wow.
Awesome.
Well, you're an amazing freaking person, Deborah.
Yep.
Lamb.
That's right. All of those people can also say I've worked with amazing.
That's true too. Yeah, right.
Oh.
You're absolutely right.
I have so many stories. I'll tell you real quick because I want to talk about what were we going to talk about. We talked about. Okay, you just showed Debbie Rochon giving me the thing for Mother, right. Which thank you. I am so and this apparently.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
And just
well
real
deserved.
Quick, all those awards are write-in awards, so people had to just write in any person that they liked out of the 38 shorts. So to win, I mean, really was I think that's pretty good. Out of 38 shorts, and then they'd have to pick who they liked out of each one, and it wasn't like I just picked 5 and they had to pick out of those 5. They picked out all 38.
From all the films, right?
Yeah.
That was amazing. And then Chris Bostrom, who played Norman, he won too. And he didn't know either. He didn't know either. He was congratulating me because I posted about it after I found out. And then he was congratulating me. But what happened was when after I saw that I won, I stopped watching it because I was so excited. And then I did the whole video thing. And then I watched the rest later. But meanwhile, he had congratulated me because I posted it. He said, "Oh, congratulations." So then after he had said congratulations, then I watched the rest of it. And he was right after me, the guy that was the actor who starred in Centipede 2. What's his name?
Lawrence Harvey.
Yeah. Who's an excellent actor, by the way.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, oh, if I had just kept watching it a few more minutes, I would have saw that Chris won too. So then I went back to the Post and I said, oh, by the way, congratulations, you won. And it took him a couple days to see it. And then he was like, oh, and then he was all excited. So
I thought it was
well
funny
deserved
that
too.
yes, very well deserved. And I thought it was funny that it's the Betsy Palmer Award for Mother. Isn't that appropriate?
Is that crazy? That's crazy.
It was just a coincidence because I named all the awards after former guests of ours that have passed away over the years. And
oh,
she was such a nice guest. Really super.
That's
nice
one of our first guests too, actually, Betsy Palmer in the first year.
Oh, and I loved Debbie Rochon's presentation, and I loved that she told the story about Betsy Palmer and gave the audience a little bit of background about Betsy Palmer. That was cool. Yeah. And but that was, I also won for my role in There's No Such Thing as Zombies, which we can play soon. Because I have some clips from that. But last year, August of 2019, I won the Best Actress for a Comedy Horror for There's No Such Thing as Zombies at the Nollywood thing. At the Nollywood, the Los Angeles Nollywood Film Festival Award. And anyway, that was in thanks to the people with Nollywood. It was, what's his face? I know the name. I'm getting old, people. But also Joe Williamson. So big shout out to Joe Williamson. Thank you. But this one was very special too. So, it was really cool because people voted and they voted for me, and that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I got lucky with that one. To play that role was really lucky. I've been very fortunate, and I've worked with some incredible people, and I've, I always end up telling the story of my working with John Candy and Steve Martin and John Hughes and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but I got cut out. So I always end up telling the story about that because people love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh yeah,
it's everybody's favorite film. And then I was
pillows.
And I was also in RoboCop, so I've got that story. But then I got cut out of that one too. So, but I will show you something real quick. I'll get it. But yeah, so people want to hear the story about that, but it's so sad because I was in this huge movie with huge stars, and I had a big scene, and it was like not planned. It was something that was just John Hughes just decided that he wanted to add this scene with somebody. It was a scene where they go into a strip club because the car blew up and was on fire, and then Steve Martin's trying to find a phone, so they go in a strip club. So there's a bunch of girls dancing around. I'm one of the girls. And then, so then he needed somebody to do an improv scene. So I was I was actually in an improv group at the time. So I said, me. So they picked me, and then I got to do this huge scene. And when the scene, it was all improv. We were all just making stuff up. And then when it was all over, everybody was busting up laughing. And John Hughes was just really busting a gut. So, and I want to make this story quick because I've told it so many times. But so I go to the premiere. They have a premiere, just a studio premiere on the lot of Paramount. So I go and they hand out these one sheets with the cast and crew's name. So I'm on the list, and I'm like, yay, I'm on the list. I haven't been cut out. So I go in, I sit down with my boyfriend at the time, and this editor who was sitting behind me, he recognized me, and he said, he got my attention and said, hey, oh my God, you were so funny in that scene. And I'm like, wow, that's great. You actually saw it? And he's like, yeah, it was hysterical. I'm like, oh, cool. So I'm like, I didn't get cut out. So we're watching the movie, and the scene that I was supposed to be in is toward the end. And then, you know, the spot where it should have been comes and goes, and then the movie ends, and I was like, and then the guy behind me, he felt really bad. He said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. You know, I worked on the film, but when I was working on the film, you were in it. I didn't know you got cut out." So then, you know, it was really sad. So then I, you know, went outside, and then in the parking lot on the way to the car, I was crying.
Oh.
Yeah, because I was like, this is a huge movie. I'm in a huge movie in a big scene with John Candy and Steve Martin, and it's funny. Yeah. And people think it's funny. But, you know, it was a family film, and it was a holiday film, and I was topless. So.
But look at the illustrious career you've had. It's not like you gave up, you know, after such a big disappointment. I think that's very inspirational.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
It was disappointing, but, you know, I mean, but look, so I originally got hired on Planes, Trains, and Automobiles just to be a model in the calendar for John Candy's character, Dello Griffith. So I was hired as a model, and then a few months later, whenever it was, I got called in as a dancer because somebody knew me and whatever. I don't know who got me on it, but first I was hired as a model, and here's a prop. Oh, and when I was on the set for Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, after, you know, we were done shooting, I needed to use a phone because this is before cell phones. This is how old I am. And then I was born back before there was radio. We didn't have computers. We didn't have cell phones. We had frickin' beepers. Beep, beep, beep. Remember beepers? And so anyway, I was hired as a model. And here, look, I got the prop. Oh, and John Candy gave it to me. He took me to his trailer. He was so sweet. He said, and I was saying something about, I need a phone, you know, and he's like, oh, you can use the phone in my trailer. And I was like, wow, really? He's going to let me use his phone? So, you know, and he was so nice. And then I was in there, I used the phone real quick, just had to make a quick call. And then he was giving me this calendar, which is the prop that I was in. And then Steve Martin comes in. So Steve Martin, I think he was a little annoyed that I was in there, but whatever. And so then he signed my calendar, and John Candy signed my calendar.
Wow.
I have heard and I have read that Steve Martin never gives out autographs, like never. He just doesn't do it. I got it. So here's the calendar. Della Griffith. And then it's so cute. This is an adorable calendar. So here's a girl. I forgot her name. I know who she is, but I forgot her name. But she was a very popular model at the time, and I think she was in Playboy. So there's a bunch of girls, and some of these girls I know. Oh, here's my friend. Look, it's Becky LeBeau. Look, do you know who Becky LeBeau is? She was a big pinup in the 80s and 90s. Oh, you'll know who she is. She was in Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, okay. Yep.
She's Bubbles. Yeah. She's the one who jumps out of the hot tub.
Yep.
Yeah, he says something about champagne or bubbles. He's like, everybody loves bubbles, and she jumps up. Well, anyway, it's cute. It's cute. But here she is. Oh, wait. Things are popping up on my phone. Okay. Here's Becky, my friend Becky. Oh, so cute. Look. See, this is so cute. She's May. So what it is, you know, the character, Dello Griffith, he's a shower curtain ring salesman. So it's not even the shower curtains, it's just the shower curtain rings. So here's the calendar. It's adorable. And now I should have done a better job preserving this because I've just been hauling it around for 30 years. But you want to see mine? It's so cute.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to have you guess what month I am.
February.
We should let people come in on the Zoom. So Oh, but they're watching on the watch party, right?
Yeah. We do have someone ready right after the story. So.
Oh, after this, we'll bring Michelle on. Okay, sorry, Michelle. Okay, so here's little old me. Guess what I am? I'm September.
Nice.
Isn't that cute?
That's
Yeah,
so
very
cute.
That's adorable.
I love it.
Yeah, so here's John Candy. He says, Debbie, thanks for the acting lessons. That's cute.
Aww.
Love and thanks, John Candy, a.k.a. Dell. And Steve Martin puts to Debbie. Oh, and he spelled my name right, too, D-E-B-I. To Debbie, you're a terrific dancer / and actress, Steve Martin. Oh, it's so sweet. But it's getting really faded because I haven't been storing it carefully. But I don't know. There's still stuff on my
You
phone.
should frame it.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's just stuck in a cupboard. Okay, so here's the. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You should definitely frame it.
Like, yeah, I might. Yeah. And then, speaking of calendars, before we bring Michelle on, I'll just quickly show you, because we were talking about Joe Bob Briggs.
Mm-hmm.
So Joe Bob was a big deal back in the 80s and 90s, like when me and Debbie and a bunch of other girls, actresses, were, where I'm just doing that because I'm getting stuff off my screen. Because we were at Chiller, and a lot of people did a ton of conventions. I didn't do that many conventions, but I really enjoyed Chiller. There's been a bunch I've done, but I don't really do it normally. But anyway, so Joe Bob had a newsletter way back, and his stuff was always in Fangoria, right? Do you remember, you guys?
Yeah. No, I'm a big fan of Joe Bob.
Yeah, so in his newsletter, he wrote, and I have it somewhere, it's stored away. He wrote a beautiful, really, really, really nice, so complimentary review on my calendar. And he was saying how beautiful it was, and just that it was exquisite. So here's my calendar. I just happen to have one that I could grab. So here it is. It's called Deborah Lamb is Starstruck, and here.
Oh, wow.
That's the best photo.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That's really
Yeah,
nice, yeah.
that's just amazing looking.
It's so artistic.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I did this back, and we actually did it in 1992, but it's a 1993 calendar. Now, if I had been smarter, I would have done it earlier and made it like a 1994 calendar, so I had time to market it. But this is before the internet. This is before anything. No smartphones, no computers, no nothing. And there's ways that people were marketing calendars, like Tracy Lords around that time. She had a couple of years in a row. She had gorgeous calendars, gorgeous pictures, beautiful calendars. So she was doing her calendars at the time, but I really didn't know how to do it. So I really didn't. I put a lot of time and money into this calendar, and I think it's beautiful. But I just didn't market it correctly, so it really didn't get out there much. But I still have some. We had a bunch. Me and my first boyfriend, Stephen Paltius, the photography by Stephen Palti. He also shot a lot of people. We shot Stella Stevens. I did her hair and makeup and styling. We shot her for Femme Fatales. We shot Linnea Quigley. I did Linnea's hair and makeup way back in the day for Femme Fatales, and she used those pictures for a bunch of things. But anyway, here's here's like one of the pictures.
Wow.
I won't show them all to you because that'll take too long. But let me see. Oh, I'll show you one of my favorites. I haven't really brought this out for many years. I haven't really talked about it because I kind of forgot, but yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful calendar. And me and Steve, I'm a perfectionist, so I had control over everything. I kept going to the print house. This is this is before digital. This is before there was no Photoshop. There's none of that stuff. None of these pictures are touched. They're not retouched. I have one picture that has a teensy bit of retouching just because there was a problem with the picture. But, like here's a picture which was also made into a poster.
Stunning, Deborah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, and there's only one other picture I want to show you just because people really, I don't want to spoil it, but they really think this is somebody who you'll know who I'm talking about in a second. I went through this phase. I've been blonde a couple times. Where the heck is it? I'll find it. But I went through this phase, and if I can, it's because I'm trying to do this with one hand. Sorry.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Let's see, where the hell?
Thanks for taking this out and sharing it with us.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to see? Okay, so can we show boobies?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is boobies okay?
Uh-huh.
Here, I love this picture.
Those are not mine. Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
This is art, Deborah. This is
Yeah.
really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And this,
magnificent.
thank you. All of these photos are by Steve Paulty, and we made a great team back then. And I've talked to him about. He's very artistic, and we did all of these. Like I said, everything was on film. This calendar was done in duotone, so I've got sepia. So I've got two colors. It's so mainly sepia, but some of them are kind of blue. And why can't I find this? It's because I'm trying to do it with one hand. Hang on. But I want to get to Michelle, but I have one more picture. Why am I having so much trouble?
Why are you one hand?
I think she's holding the phone.
Over there.
I'm holding.
Oh, you can put us down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
But don't you want to see me licking my fingers?
I mean,
Oh.
obviously.
Neil's a slave driver, though.
I
thought you were going to say that's Neil's thing.
Yeah. Finger licking kind of guy.
I was like, well, yeah, I can.
It's finger licking good, folks.
That's right.
Okay, this is the picture I was looking for. Okay, here it is.
Oh, you look like Madonna.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
You look a lot like
That's
Madonna.
crazy. Yeah.
I was going through a Madonna phase. In fact, if you watch Point Break, you'll see me. I'm fire eating in a scene with Keanu Reeves and Lori Petty and all those guys. So I spit fire. It's the scene where they first walk into the Patrick Swayze's beach house. So they're walking into the party. Keanu Reeves was bringing Lori Petty there because he's trying to get the lowdown on Bodie. So so they walk in and I spit fire right in their face. And I've got that curly blonde hair. It's all like little curls. Remember, I don't know, Trista, you're too young. You might not be too young. I don't know. You look like you're 14. But I know you're not 14. But, remember way back in the 90s when Madonna went through the little curly blonde hair phase?
I do, yeah.
When she did that song Vogue and Express Herself, she was all like with the curls.
Yeah,
so
she had like the little ringlets going.
Exactly. So that's what I was doing. I was going through my Madonna phase.
It's a great profile though on that one too. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, thanks for indulging me. Let's get Michelle.
All right. So should we play the trailer, then get Michelle?
Are we gonna let people in on Zoom yet or not yet?
Yeah. Well, she's on Zoom right now, so.
She's on Zoom. Oh, where is she? Get her in the box. Well, because I can't see her. Let's bring Michelle on for a second so we can say hi.
All right.
Get her in the box. That could be a good quote.
There she is. Hello. Sorry we had you in the waiting room for so long. Oh, it's connected to the audio.
Michelle. Oh no, where is she? Oh, here. Let me go over here.
It's
there she is. There she. Oh, she's waiting. We're waiting.
Mm-hmm.
We're waiting.
She gave up a nap to do the show, so I'm very
There she is. Can you hear us?
Yeah, is there
Hello, it's good to see you.
Hi.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Deborah. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so sorry for keeping you waiting.
Don't even worry about it. I love you bunches.
I love you so much. I'm so glad we can have you on the show with us.
Thank you for having me be on with you.
Well,
Deborah. So.
Yeah, Neil suggested it to me because I sent him the trailer to play, and I was talking about you. And then he suggested, well, hey, how about having Michelle on the show? And I'm like, yes, of course, let's have her. And then so sorry for keeping you waiting. We were just, gabbing. But now we finally got around.
Not us. I can't believe that.
Yeah. So we finally got around to 333 Illuminati.
Yeah.
You want to play it?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to play the trailer, and then we will be right back.
I need help. I seriously need help. I'm now a hardened criminal. Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Lily and Rose are alive. You guys can go to what? Biggest bitches. Please help me. Look around through the town, not a soul to be found. In silence, not a sound. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, and we're back here once again Without Your Head, and we're still all here. Deborah's still with us, and now we have Michelle with us, and we're going to be talking about her movie that she's done with Deborah. It's very cool to have you here.
333
I've talked to you, but I've
Illuminati.
not seen you before. 333 Illuminati.
Yep. Welcome.
Thank you.
And you just showed the trailer, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What's weird is a weird coincidence is originally I was going to play Michelle's other trailer just before the movie, and then it turned out that you guys had a movie together, so it's a weird coincidence.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's why she said that. And I was like, oh, wow. And then I added the trailer for 333 Illuminati to the things that I sent you. And then it was a great suggestion having Michelle come on and talk about it. I had such a good experience working with her and Tonya. It was a little over a year ago. And it was, I was actually a replacement for somebody else. I don't know who that somebody else is, but it was a last minute replacement. Huh?
I'll never tell.
No, it's okay. And
our for the best, obviously.
And our friend, our mutual friend, was it Rocky? Who was it?
Ronnie Angel.
Yeah, Ronnie Angel. He suggested me to Michelle. Michelle, you tell the story.
Okay, so Tanya and I, we were already planning on making a found footage film at some point. And we were traveling for Medusa Underground Film Fest to present our film, Just a Prick. And we had kicked around an idea when we were chilling in a hot tub in Toronto a year before that, where I was like, you know what, I want to make a found footage film that is completely set in real world immersion. So what you see is what you get, one take, one time, that's what you have. And Tanya was totally game for it. So I wrote down what I wanted it to be in the synopsis, and then me and Tanya busted out some dialogue, and then we were supposed to have someone else, as Deborah said, but that didn't work out, and we actually, all good. We're actually going to work together later, so I'm not going to say their name, but Ronnie Angel, I called him, or he called me last minute to see how I was doing. And I was like, I need an actress. I need an actress who could play mine and Tanya's mother easily. And Ronnie was like, oh, I know. Hang on, I know. And then he goes away for a bit. And then he calls me back and he's all, do you know who Deborah Lamb is? And we're like, I freak out because I I love Beverly Hills Vamp. So,
wow.
Is what, well, it's a fun movie. I love all those campy movies. Like, they're the best to me. Like, Once Bitten, Saturday the 14th, and Saturday the 14th Strikes Back. And, so I was like, to me, you're like horror comedy royalty.
Oh,
so I was really excited about that. Yeah. And I knew that you would be perfect to play the mom. And honestly, you excelled my expectations of what I thought, like, because I had the mother a certain way in my head, and you really fleshed her out for me. And it was just dynamic. And we shot the whole time. We were in this sex hotel in Nevada on the off season. And that's where we filmed.
Not my part, the other part.
No, just me and Tanya. Me and Tanya were running around in a sex hotel. And
I wasn't in the sex hotel. I missed that day.
Was this part of the movie or just?
It was the off season, so like they were like, "Oh, if you come here on season, you'll see all kinds of naked bodies," and and I'm very liberal, but at the same time, I don't know how I feel. I'm really short, so I don't want to be like head level with a bunch of strangers bare butts.
I'm very short.
It's so and then we went to LA and we filmed with Deborah, and that was a fucking blast. Oh my God, am I allowed to say F-bombs?
Yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah.
Deborah showed her boobs before.
Oh my goodness.
It's okay. I was showing naked pictures, so it's okay.
And that's true. I did see your boobs earlier. It was like, but yeah. So that's how that all came about, and so I feel really lucky. And every chance I get, thank you, Deborah, for being in our movie.
It was really great. It was so great working with you and Tanya, and we instantly clicked. I mean, it was instant, and we really bonded, and we had a great night. We were shooting kind of late into the night. We had, several scenes that we were shooting. A lot of it was improv. And I really loved working with Michelle and Tanya too, because, and this is of course Michelle's creation. But I was able to put a lot of input in, and I was, and that made me feel really good because I really like it. I mean, most of the time you're given a script and then that's just it. You do that, what's written down. But it was really fun because I kind of got to collaborate and come up with stuff. And we came up with a few, really fun things, and we made it so much more than it originally was, just the part that was written down. And I was given it, last minute, and I think I did actually receive some kind of script or outline, but it was last minute, so it was impossible. I was following with the basic gist of it, but it would have been impossible for me to memorize. I didn't have time for that. Oh, and that whole scene with us doing shots at the table and it's your birthday, that was all just made up on the spot. It was great. Yeah, I loved it.
It was a real world immersion. So it was like, the script was, this is what we want to hit. Like, these are the points we want to hit. But with the real world immersion, one take, which I was just really glad that you as an actress, you were like into the idea of doing it in the first place, because I know, it sounds kind of iffy, but that's the flavor we were running the whole filming process on. Like, what if we guerrilla filmed in this sex hotel? And then,
Yeah. So. Those scenes were really good too. When I saw the finished product, I was very pleased. It was very creepy and very spooky. The stuff that her and Tonya did in Las Vegas, I liked the different locations that everything shot in. Like, the stuff that I did with them was at her friend's house, who was kind enough to lend the house. I forget your friend's name.
John.
Yeah. So, but that was really good because we did all the scenes with me at the one house, and it had enough like little nooks and crannies that we could get like different scenes, different location, you know what I'm trying to say. For the different scenes, we had different locations. And then her and Tonya, the stuff they did in Las Vegas had a very interesting look. You know, the stuff in the hotel with that red room, and then the elevator stuff is very interesting. So yeah, it's a very interesting project. And right now the short film version is available to see, but you're making another version for a feature film, right?
Yep. It was supposed to be released sooner, but we've kind of held back because of COVID. We really want to be able to run and punch that one out because, as you know, since you're one of the producers on the project as well, we're getting ready to do part 2. So that's 333 Illuminaughty Earth. So
now on IMDb, if you go to my IMDb, you'll see Horrors of the PNW 6, but the thing that we actually shot is 333 Illuminaughty.
Yeah, which is part of Horrors of the PNW.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should say what that is, right?
Yeah.
So it's an annual horror anthology series that I created, and I created it with the goal and the hope of getting to premiere it every year with CryptCon Seattle, like working in tandem with them as a sponsor. That was like a dream of mine. And then they contacted me and they were like, hey, you want to do something? And I was like, yeah, I want to do something. I already know what I want. And that's what happened. And so this was supposed to be year 7. 333 Illuminaughty was in year 6. And it was so much fun. I love running the anthology series, and getting to have Deborah involved with that, you know, is just such a feather in my bonnet. Is that the saying? It's feather in your bonnet.
I think that's the saying.
Sounds good.
Oh, a feather in your cap. It's cap. Feather in your cap.
Feather in not. So what is bird in your bonnet?
No, maybe.
I have no
They
idea.
can give you whatever you want. You know, it's fine. Any type of headgear and whatever.
You're putting birds in your bonnet.
There is a saying something with the bonnet in it, but
Is
I
it
don't
that
know.
is it that
Bees in
They
your
Might Be
bonnet.
Giants song? Another bird in your bonnet?
Bees. Is it bees?
I might
Is
be
it
the
bees
only
in
They
your
Might Be
bonnet?
Giant fans here. I don't know.
If you had a bee in your
Oh,
bonnet,
bee
then
in
you're
your bonnet
upset.
is a bad thing.
Yeah, that's something you don't
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
And Michelle, where you are is so beautiful. You're out. You have a big house out in the woods, right? Something like that.
Oh, I live out in the woods. I'm
Yeah.
a wood person, and I believe they call us hermits, and we set up traps so nobody can come over, and we make best friends with raccoons.
I'm a big fan of
if
raccoons.
the raccoon gets run over, then we eat the raccoon because circle of life. I'm a forest person.
You do? You eat the raccoons?
Yes.
Do you put them in your bonnet?
And the bonnet. They live in the bonnet with the bees.
Whoa.
What's raccoon?
Along with the feather in your cap.
That's right. That's right.
What does
I wear
raccoon
a
taste
feather
like?
I have no idea. I've never actually.
I was going to have you, taste my
did you
raccoon
guys
skull
actually
just to make
believe
sure
that?
what it. Yeah.
Now
I'm a very naive
I don't
man.
want Michelle, you keep hanging out with us. Don't leave us.
Am I hanging out?
That's an order.
Maybe you're gonna hang out with us.
Yeah, I'm hanging out.
Okay,
good.
good. Let's see. And so we have the 333 Illuminaughty, which was great to work on. And I was mentioning before, I don't know if you saw it, Michelle, but I was talking about, there have been quite a few films that I've turned down in the last 6 months, and mainly because I don't like to repeat myself a lot. So, I did the found footage with you, and then we're going to have the feature film version of it. So, you know, I it's like, I don't want to be the found feature actress of the year, you know. So if I get another like found footage thing, it's like, well, I did that great found footage with you. I don't need to repeat that because that was good, you know, unless somebody came along and said, hey, I got $1 million. You want to be in my found footage film? And I'd be like, no, I could read the script and maybe think about it. $1 million. I
could take $1 million.
But yeah. So what else? Let's see. What else did I send you over? Oh, so we were talking about just briefly about, you know, I got the award on your the severed limb, and that was a big happy surprise. I was actually, you know, I was really thrilled with that. You know what thrilled me also? I get thrilled, you know, it's not always a big thing that has to do with me that I get thrilled about. Guess what happened today? I decided I don't usually eat breakfast. You know, I might have a little something, but I don't really eat breakfast. I was feeling kind of hungry. So I thought, you know, I had a hankering for an egg, and I never eat eggs.
I saw this on Facebook. But yeah, go on.
Is this the double?
So I decided to make myself an egg. I crack open the egg, and out plops 2 yolks. I was like, wow. That's never happened to me in my whole life. And I'm getting old. And I got an egg with 2 yolks. I just thought that was the neatest thing. I'm like,
yeah, I think it's a good sign.
It's like, wow. I got an award. I got a best female performance award for Mother. I got, last year I got a best actress award for best horror comedy actress thingy. And now I got
2 yolks.
And two
it keeps
yolks.
getting better. It keeps getting better, yeah.
I could die a happy woman. No, I can't die yet because the reason I can't, no, not quite yet. Not until I get to be in a movie with Trista.
Oh.
Yeah. So one time, and Neil and Michelle, we can all be in a movie together. So, but you know, once that happens,
it'll be off the checklist then.
Yeah, and I could just, you know, then I could just like, you know.
But I don't want you to die, so I guess we can't together, Deborah. What are you doing?
Oh, well, okay, I'll tell you what. I won't die until we work together 5 times.
Okay, go.
I'd say do 4.
On the 5th time, on our 5th movie together, then it's okay. Then I can just, you know, then I'll be done.
The secret to immortality.
But I want to talk about Trista some more. So Trista, so you were amazing in Echoes of Fear. And not only are you an amazing actress, and you were an amazing in Purgatory Road. You were so adorable. Oh my God. So, but I'm looking at you in Echoes of Fear, and I'm like, I hate her. I just hate her because you don't have to have any makeup on. You're gorgeous. You have perfect skin. You just have perfect features. That girl doesn't even have to put any makeup on. She's just, I mean, look, she doesn't have any makeup on. I can't do that.
This is why I had Deborah on the show, guys. You're wondering.
I can't do that. And you're like a little pixie elf girl. I mean, just so adorable. You know, we were having fun hanging out that one time back. I don't know. I think it was last year after Dark Delicacies, and our friend Stephen Byro was talking about doing an alien movie. I'm like, get Trista. She's like the perfect alien. Perfect. You know what, Trista? I'm going to make a sci-fi movie and put you in it as the alien. How's that?
I would love that. And you just announced that to the world, so
we can all be in it.
It's a done bun now.
All right.
We can all be in it. I'll make it happen.
All right.
I'll work on it. I don't know. I have no power, but I'll work.
Thank you for your kindness.
But before we get off the subject of Trista, so I was watching another film of yours. Oh, and thank you for watching my films, guys. I never think anybody sees me in anything, and then Michelle telling me that she saw me in Beverly Hills Vamp. I'm like, what? You saw me in that? But so Trista, guess what I was watching? I watched, what's it called? Oh, I watched Human Zoo the other night.
Oh, geez. Wow.
It was
thank
well
you.
done. It was very well done for what it was. I mean, because basically it was really clever to be able to do a low budget film like that type of film where everybody's confined in a little space and but it's, I mean, I could see where you could do the filmmaker, who was it who made this?
John Seymour.
Yeah, he did a really excellent job, with using just basically hardly any locations. I mean, it was great. It was very clever. And I don't mean that as a negative, that there weren't a lot of locations. I mean it as a compliment. I mean, it was very well done. But you were my favorite. You were definitely my favorite.
Well, thank you. Thank you for watching, Deborah. I really appreciate you watching my work. It means a lot. And that was an experimental film. That was all improv as well, similar to what you were discussing with your work. Yeah. There was no script.
I had a feeling. I was telling my husband, I was talking about the film, and I'm like, okay, because I could see how it was done. You shoot one person doing all their stuff and another person doing all their stuff, and you just kind of cut back and forth. And except for the opening scene where it's the auditions, and the next scene where the producer Robert Carradine comes in, who I have a big crush on because he's just yummy. And I've met him too.
Your second favorite in the film.
No, you were my favorite.
Well, that's a big chunk.
Robert is my second favorite, but
wow, well,
he's so cute. He's so cute, and I've met him, and he's adorable, and he's so sweet, and he's very talented. He plays in a band. He plays guitar. He's a rocker. He plays with Richard Goodbye. Let's see, what's their thing? Well, he I don't know if he's a permanent fixture in the band, but he comes in and plays with them all the time. Anyway, he's cool. But mainly I saw that you were in it and Robert was in it, so I'm like, well, I gotta see this. Plus the title, Human Zoo, it had my, I was very curious. But you were my favorite.
Well, thank you. Thank you for watching. It's so great to me. One reason why I love you is that you're so supportive of other artists and other actresses, and that's very special. So thank you, Deborah.
Thanks, and I gotta see Neil's stuff. You did, what's it called?
Umbilicus Desidero. Yes.
And then I know you've done some other things that we can't talk about.
But there's one we also did in February. The Once and Future Smash, which I did with Michael and Sophia, Michael Epstein and Sophia Cacciola. That's a feature. I have a small part in it and producer.
Well, Michael and Sophia, they're great. So they work with Dustin Ferguson a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know if everybody knows who Dustin is. Yeah. Do you know who Dustin is?
He was on recently on the show.
Oh, was he on? Yeah, he's so sweet, right?
Yeah.
So I worked with Dustin, I don't know, it was a handful of years ago on a thing called Tales of the Campfire 2. And it was an anthology. So it was different stories. I think it was like maybe 4, maybe 5 stories in it. So my story, I really liked my segment. It was good. I was the mother of a little girl, and I do this satanic ritual, and then I don't want to give it away. All right, I'll give it away. Spoiler alert. Okay, so I bring back the little girl, and something's kind of amiss, and then you can figure it out. Pet cemetery. So, but yeah. So I worked with him, and then last year, I don't know. I think it was around March last year. I did a thing called he does a lot of documentaries. So this one's called Direct to Video, concentrating on actors and actresses and filmmakers and directors and special effects artists and writers and all those guys who made the VHS home video explosion happen, and that's when I started my career doing this video home home video thing, be kind, rewind, that whole Blockbuster thing. So when I was first starting out, I was working with Fennel and Ray, and I did 3 films with him. I did Warlords and Beverly Hills Vamp and Mob Boss. So I worked with Eddie Deason twice with him on those films. And those were big video things. And The Invisible Maniac was Adam Rifkin, and he's become quite famous with being working with Burt Reynolds. And I think he did 2 films with Burt Reynolds, but he's won all these awards. So, I started with him on The Invisible Maniac, only he was calling himself Rick Coogan at the time, but it's Adam Rifkin. And then films like Evil Spirits that I starred in with Karen Black, that had a lot of iconic people. Michael Berryman was in that one. A bunch of, anyway, so I did all these movies back then, but again, this is before social media. It's before cell phones. I mean, people had phones, but they were flip phones and beepers. People had beepers, and people didn't have computers yet, not in their homes yet. And so I was doing all these films, and I literally didn't think that anybody was going to see any of these films. It wasn't until maybe, I don't know, a handful of years ago, I found out, and I never knew this. Nobody told me. People should have been calling me, telling me these things. Nobody told me. I didn't know. So I found out that films like Beverly Hills Vamp and some of these other films were actually playing in movie theaters and drive-ins, but in the regular movies. I had no idea. I'm like, nobody's ever going to see this. So when people tell me, oh, I saw that. Oh, I'm a big fan of that. I'm shocked. I'm like, wow. That's cool.
Yeah. And when you brought up Dustin, I believe Michael and Sophia filmed that documentary.
That's why I brought it up. And then because I have ADD, so I went off on a totally other tangent.
That's fine. That's why I'm here, to bring it back.
Direct to video.
People are wondering why.
We did this thing called Direct to Video, and I got to, talk about some of the stories. And so that was a fun thing. But Michelle Epstein, right, and Sophia, and they were working with Dustin on that. And Joe Williamson produced it. I'm a big fan of Joe Williamson. Have you met Joe Williamson, you guys? Anybody?
I haven't, no.
He is a sweetheart. He's really, really tall. He's so cute. He's so adorable, and he's the sweetest guy, and he's super smart, and he helps a lot of people. And he has some really good clients. Harley Wallen is his client, who's somebody I'm trying to work with because he's amazing. And a lot of
I've had him on the show, Harley, with him and Jan Birch, because they work together a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm working on Harley. Harley, if you hear me, I'm waiting. TikTok, I'm getting old here. So, just kidding. No, he plans on using me for something. I don't know. I think I'm good for something.
Lots of things.
Right?
Lots of things.
So anyway, we did direct to video, and it's out. I think it's out. It's people can get it and watch it. So I got to do that with Dustin.
Yeah. He's we just had him on recently because he did a movie, Angry Asian Murder Hornets, and we played it in the group.
Another one of my favorite titles. So.
Yeah, and apparently that's going to be on the Blu-ray features, which I'm very excited about. My Q&A.
Nice.
Yeah.
There was a live stream. Was it through you? Was the live stream through you or somebody? It was on Without Your Head. Yeah. Oh, okay. The film, right?
Yeah, we played the film, and then we did a live Q&A.
Okay, so I watched it. That was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, because I guess it aired on TV too, but I guess it was cut up very, very heavily.
Oh, really?
Because there was a lot of things they couldn't show on television, but we let it stream on the website.
Oh, I saw the TV one. I must have missed some stuff.
Yeah, I'm not exactly. I think he said that, but there was a lot of scenes that were cut very heavily to be able to television.
Was there boobies? Is that why?
There might have been, but I don't think there really were. I don't think there was like a lot of nudity in the movie. If there was, if it was,
what got cut out? Do you know? Do you have any
I remember
idea?
him saying, but I honestly can't remember now. I know I should remember this, but
Did I lose you? There you are. Yeah. So anyway, let's see. Let's talk about. There's no such thing as zombies.
all right. Real quick though, Craig Lindbergh's on here, who was the I was telling you he did the effects on Johnny Gruesome.
Johnny
He
Gruesome.
worked a lot with Gregory Lamberson.
Bring him on. Bring him on. I want to talk to him.
Hello, Craig.
I'm here. I don't think you see me.
Let's see. Let me go over here. Oh, I see you. I see you.
Thank you. I see you too.
I see you, Greg.
Hey, how's it?
There's no hiding from us.
I had to plug you in. You're plugged in now. We're all plugged in now.
Yeah, I had drinks with Craig in Buffalo before I stopped drinking.
Well, congratulations, Neil. You are my inspiration.
No.
I have to start working out more. I was doing really good there for a while, but I kind of slacked off. I had so many projects that I was working on. I was working on stuff during the quarantine. I was working on this story for an anthology book, and that took forever. And but I admire you. I see you out there walking, and you're eating good, and you stopped drinking. You lost almost 100 pounds, right?
Over 100 pounds, almost 160
Over
pounds
100
actually. Yeah,
How much?
almost 160 pounds. I'm almost half the body weight I was.
That's amazing, dude.
Thank you.
Well, I lost 25 pounds last year, and because I was getting pretty chunky. I was a chunky monkey. And then hang on. And then but I have to admit, I have to lose 10 pounds again at least, because all my stuff's coming up, and I gained weight because I was eating too.
Yeah. It is expensive though for the clothes, because I continually have to buy new clothes. All the stuff I bought last year after I lost like 100 pounds, it's all way too big this year. But that's
wow.
That's
yeah,
not
if that's the worst of it, Neil,
I'm not complaining.
That's a good thing, right?
It's fine. Yeah, I'm good with it. That's why I always tell people to send me T-shirts, because I always need new T-shirts. Plus, I like free stuff. But thank you. And it is hard though. It is real quick though. It is hard to because I do a lot of these shows and a lot of stuff with the show, so it is hard to find time. I always make sure I time wise get in my walks and everything, because it is hard to do everything.
Yeah, see, that's my problem. I get busy with something, and then days gone by, and then I don't go, and I don't go for a walk.
Okay. Well, this was, you wanted to see that, right?
Yeah.
Now tell me, I'm sorry, tell me, what's his name again?
Craig
My
Lindbergh.
name?
Greg.
Craig
Greg.
Lindbergh.
Greg Lindbergh.
This is
Hi,
the
Greg.
piece that, hi, how are you?
Good.
Actually, I met you at a Monsterpalooza.
You know,
sometime ago.
I thought you looked awfully familiar.
Well, you probably saw me at the post office, maybe poster somewhere, maybe something like this. But no, this was the piece. This is in the Johnny Gruesome, where he reaches inside his chest and pulls out his bag of entrails. And I think I still have the bag of entrails.
I don't know if you were watching us before, Greg, but I was raving about Johnny Gruesome.
Yes, I did. And I sent a shout out to Neil for saying thanks for the shout out for my name.
Yeah. I love that movie, and I've told Gregory many times how much I love it.
Thank you so much for that.
And I'm so sorry about Michael. I'm sure you were friends with Michael too.
But through the filming more than anything, because I don't live in the area. I live in the city, New York City, so I don't live up in the Buffalo area. But I've worked only with Greg in the Buffalo area just once on Johnny Gruesome. Otherwise, I've known Greg since the 90s, actually. I've known him for quite some time. Yeah.
Wow.
I did a couple of his little features when he was here in New York.
Well, I've bugged Greg a few times about working with him, but I think he's most of his crew, and of course all of his crew, but his main actors that he uses are all East Coast people. But if you can put in a good word for me. You by the nature of this, this podcast, you said a lot of nice things about him and everyone. So, yeah, why not? Give him a shout. I'll mention him. I was a producer on one of his films on Dry Bones.
Okay. So
I gave money.
there you go. Hey, that's great. No, that's wonderful. I mean, you know, one thing I wanted to say, if you don't mind me saying, is, you know, that Neil's been doing these podcasts for a very long time, and I think and he's now doing, the video and the spare parts, films and all of a sudden he's given a very good avenue for people just to make movies and have a good time making movies. Really has, and that's to you.
Thank you. It is
Man,
fun. I like to watch stuff. I like to talk to people, but it is nice because when I did the Severed Limbs, it really was just something fun to do because I thought everyone was stuck inside and let's just get together and watch some stuff.
Yeah, people are going a little stir crazy.
Yeah, it was a really.
I mean, I haven't shaved in weeks.
And after that, though, like I was honestly blown away. Like so many filmmakers, messaged me and texted me and contacted me, and like they were so happy that people got to see their stuff that might not have seen it otherwise, and just people that were there watching, like myself. They enjoyed watching. So it was really win-win for everybody.
Oh, I think so. I mean, we were talking. I think where I forgot who it was talking that. That horror films was considered like just above porn. Remember, there was a time where it was 70s exploitation films and they were just above porn.
Yeah.
But when and it's just like, but can you think of any movies that actually have such a following? Like conventions.
That's true, because I actually like to watch like old Siskel and Eberts, and if you watch them, like there'll be all these movies that were up for awards and stuff, and like I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that, or I don't even remember it at all, but I'll remember like all these horror movies, like even like kind of obscure horror movies that came out in the 70s.
Right.
And they still.
Can anyone name the last 10 Best Picture nominations, and even went to go see them?
Right.
I got lucky last year. I was on the. Just, they pick them arbitrarily. I was randomly picked to be on the SAG nominating committee. So they sent me freaking everything. I got like 30, 40 films. They just kept coming and coming and coming. And we watched them all. It was like every day, 2 films a day, 1 or 2 films, at least one, but sometimes 2 films a day for weeks. I was just watching them all. I saw them all. And
That's too much like work.
Well, it's funny because some of them were just gorgeous to look at. Gorgeous.
Sure.
But I just wanted to put a bullet through my head because I couldn't, it's just like watching paint dry. It's like, looking at a beautiful painting, but you don't want to look at a beautiful painting for 2 hours. It's like, okay, that was pretty, but where's the entertainment, And then just some of these films I just loved, and some of them I never would have watched them in a million years, and they were brilliant. Like there's this one called Tuscan Smile. What's it called? Tuscan Smile with Brian Cox. I love Brian Cox. I love me some Cox.
I heard that about
Brian Cox.
Yeah.
No, he's great. And I love him in Troy. I love him in everything he does. But there's that movie. It was so brilliant. I never would have seen it in a million years. And like Paddington with Ray Romano and this other actor, I can't think of his name right now, but I know who it is, but I just can't think of it. But it was such a heartfelt dramedy, and it's under the comedy thing, but I was bawling my eyes out, and I never would have seen it in a million years. So just like just like being able to see films you never would have seen, it was nice to see all these things that you showed on your film festival thing.
That's why I like festivals in general, is because a lot of the stuff I might. For lots of reasons, because some of the stuff at the festivals might not ever play anywhere else, or it might be really obscure, or it might be a short, or for some reason, you might not ever see it. So then you're at the. I try to watch everything when I'm at the festivals, all the movies, and actually, when you could go to the theater, I would go every week because I had the Regal Club, not the Regal, the the stub club.
AMC.
Yeah, and so I would go see 3 movies. I'd go up, spend the day in Boston,
Oh, you got
I'd watch 3 movies. And a lot of times, like, I'd run out of movies I wanted to see, so I would just see something that I hadn't seen. And like sometimes it would be something I wouldn't like, and I'd actually leave. But a lot of times it would be stuff like you're saying that I wouldn't normally have gone to see, especially in the theater. And a lot of times you'd be surprised. I'm like, wow, this is a great movie. And I actually watch all movies. I don't just watch horror movies, but I like movies in general.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's why I like watching my friends' movies. Like, Trista, I'll always watch your movies. I'll be checking out some more of your movies. And Michelle, Michelle's has big plans for some big projects coming up. So she's a very talented filmmaker. Michelle, I really feel like you're just on the cusp. You're just on the verge of really stepping it up, because I know you have so much talent and you have so much vision, and I'm just excited to see what you're going to do next. I know I'm going to be a part of some of the things you'll be doing, but I'm excited for that. And you're young. You've got many good filmmaking years ahead of you. And I like to watch my friends' things, when I see on Facebook people post stuff, and I'll watch them. I watch a lot of the stuff. I don't have time to watch everything, but I do take the time to watch a lot of the stuff, because these are people I want to see who's out there. I want to see who are the talented people out there, who are the talented actors, who do I want to work with, who are the talented filmmakers I want to work with. And you're not going to know if you don't see their work. I like to look at to actually see what they're doing. I want to know.
Well, I don't want to interrupt, but I know Troy has to leave. I know he texted me here a minute ago. So
I gotta leave, folks.
Well, thanks,
Troy.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for a great show. It was a ton of fun.
Yes.
See you all next week.
Right.
Bye-bye.
And I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, right? All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Yeah.
But before people start getting tired of looking at my boobs, it's supposed to be funny.
No one's tired of looking at your boobs.
I'm glad she said it. I mean, I don't want to
Or your face.
or something. Right.
I'm trying to make these jokes, but nobody's laughing.
I thought we all laughed. I don't know.
We're all laughing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not laughing at your boobs, so don't.
So, I have to give a shout out to, he couldn't come in because he's in Vienna, so he's asleep right now. But my dear friend Michael Haberfelder, and I stayed with him actually in Vienna for about 4 months, and I was going back and forth between Vienna and London for those 4 months, and I've been to London like a bunch of times, like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, we were actually in London at the same time, and we didn't meet.
When were you in London?
It was I was at Fright Fest. We were actually even in the same city. It was right outside London.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't say, hey, let's get together.
I don't know, but I remember we were at the same exact time, and I forget the name of the city, but it was right outside London. Well, it said outside London. It was 15 minutes from the heart of London, but it was like an hour and a half from the heart of London. But
I did go spend a day in Brighton.
It wasn't Brighton, but I can't remember. I think it was 2018, maybe 2017.
Okay, well, it was one of the times I was there, but so I have this dear friend. You guys, do you know him? Michael Haberfelder. He does this thing called Search My Trash.
Oh, I know that.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, oh, you were interviewed with him, right?
Yeah, I think I was, yes.
I told him to watch Echo of...
oh, thank you.
Echo of Fears. It's Echo of Fears, right?
Echoes of Fear, yeah.
Echoes of Fear. So I told him to watch it. It's in his to-watch list. So I said, you got to watch Echoes of Fear.
Oh, thank you.
So you can do a review. But he's also...
Thank you so much.
Of course. He's also a writer, and we are in the same writing group. And I always, I always talk about the films, but I'm actually a writer too. And Michael got me into this book, this group called WPAD, stands for Writers, Poets, and Deviants. And my stories have been published in 5 of their books. And there's a new book that just came out. It's on Kindle right now, but in a couple weeks it'll be available on paperback. Called this one is Going Extinct 2. They had a Going Extinct 1. I wasn't in that one. This is Going Extinct 2, but I think this will be my 6th book that I'm published in with them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this one, the main gist, the theme of the book is post-apocalyptic, which is like perfect, right?
Yeah.
So my friend Michael and I, we've actually written scripts together and we've collaborated together. And so he's a producer too. He's a writer and producer. And so he did a short film called Talk of the Dead with Lynn Lowry a few years back, and they won a lot of awards. Well, the Talk of the Dead was actually just the short version of There's No Such Thing as Zombies. So after they did that film, then they went on to make the feature film called There's No Such Thing as Zombies, which I won for last year. And so both me and Lynn, because we both star in this film, we both won awards. And they won a ton of awards, like for Best Picture and Best Writer and all sorts of stuff, Best International Film. And so I won an award for that last year, and so I have a clip of that.
All right, we will go
You want
to
to show
that
it?
here. Yeah, let's do that. Me at it right now. I wasn't ready for the clip right now, so.
He didn't know where you were going with that.
We'll keep talking while he gets that ready. So, but yeah, so that was a pleasure to work on, and they're in post-production. They're getting everything ready. They're working on the last bit of the details of the sound. They want to get it like top notch. Everything's super A, number 1.
We at the CIA are not primarily concerned with hunting, shooting zombies.
When you play good cop, bad cop, can I be the bad cop? Because I was really make nice when I try out.
We are not playing good cop, bad cop. This is a simple reconnaissance mission!
Do you even believe in zombies?
No. I only took the job for the good hours. And the pension plan. Medical.
And then I did my taxes, of course.
Has anyone ever told you that your punchlines are really crap?
Yeah, I think even when we're back live here. But yeah, even when we started the show tonight, I was like, oh, this is a fake skull. And as soon as I was in mid-sentence, I was like, why would I tell anyone that?
Wait a second.
Obviously, it's not a real skull on that.
No, what? Oh, that's not. Okay, for a second, I thought that was Norman Bates behind
It is
her.
Norman
it
Bates.
is.
Yeah. It's
Oh, it
Norman-
is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's,
You know, I didn't notice that before. Oh my God.
It's a painting. My friend Annabelle painted for me for my birthday a few years ago.
That's
One of
really
my favorite
good.
movies.
Here, I'm grabbing something
it
so I
has
can
a
show
date
you.
on it.
Ugh, grabbing something so I can show you. That's gorgeous. I love that. Yeah, I'm a big Psycho fan too, and I'm really just so grateful that Chris cast me in Mother, and apparently he had, I was the only one he had in mind for that role. He didn't have anyone else in mind for it. So I got really lucky with that one. And between, and sometimes I feel like a lot of times I don't know if it's just me, I'm sure it's other people, a lot of performers and actors and, other performers that, I don't feel like I've really accomplished a lot. I don't feel like I'm that successful. I'm certainly not very famous. Some people think I am, but I don't think I am. But then when you start talking about it, it's like, oh, wow, and especially when people tell me that they've actually seen something. Like Michelle saw Beverly Hills Vamp. You've seen a few things of me, Trista. So I'm like, wow, okay, I guess people are watching stuff I'm in. That's cool.
Well,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
very humble, Deborah.
She is extremely humble. Every chance there is to be an associate producer or producer on a project she's in, I jump on it because you always know it's going to be beautiful with her in it.
That's right, Michelle. Michelle jumped on board for Mother. You were on board for Mother, right?
Yeah, and another one, I can't remember the name of it.
Men in Black? Men in Black?
Yeah, and then there's another one.
Frenzy? Frenzy 3?
The werewolf one, I think.
Oh, I forgot to talk about the werewolf one. Oh,
Yeah.
So I'm doing this film called Billy. No, that's not what it's called. It's just called Black Wolf. Okay.
Okay, Black Wolf.
Yeah, the character's called Billy Black Wolf, and I was trying to remember the actual title is just Black Wolf. It's my friend William Lee, and he's we were actually supposed to work together years ago, and it just didn't work because the budget wasn't there for me to fly out to where he was, and so it just didn't happen. And then but this thing came along, and we got back. We hadn't talked for a while, and then we just started talking again. And then he brought me on board of this next film that he's working on. In fact, we should be shooting it. I don't know. I think he's going to start filming sometime in August, but I'll probably work with him like in September. I don't know. But yeah, it's a true life story. It's his own experiences of being bullied, and he's a very muscular. Oh my God, he works out 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day. I don't know. He works out every day, and he's all muscle. He's a big, handsome black man, and he was moved from one place, I forget where it was, and he moved to Ohio. And the school he went to, and he was a kid, I guess junior high or something. I get the impression he was like, not even maybe a teenager, high school or something. So and so the script is based on his true life story. So he was always picked on and bullied by the other black kids because they were calling him names, and they were beating him up, and they were telling him, you're not black, you don't talk like us. And because he's a very well-spoken man, and I assume he was a well-spoken kid, and, because he didn't have that, that street urban way of talking, so he wasn't considered one of them, so he got bullied terrible. And then he had lupus, and he had some other things, like he had something else, but he's overcome all these things, and he's been a filmmaker for decades. So this script is extra personal, plus I think it's very timely. And so it's an action, how do you call it? An action martial arts movie. Is that how you call it? And but it's got a really good message, but there's a lot of violence and guns, so it's fun. And there's some really, really classically funny lines that I know that when the movie gets made and people watch it, it's going to be highly, highly entertaining. Lots of fight scenes. And so I get to be one of the characters in that. And, I'm a total bitch, and I was mean to him. So then, so we get in a good fight scene. So that'll be fun. So I'm glad you brought it up, Michelle. Yeah. And so Michelle, I totally forgot all about that, Michelle. Thank you so much for all your support and, giving us some money. And that's really, really, really super generous of you. Thank you.
That's the fun part of being a producer. What actually attracted me to the story was just every single person's experience is quite different. And so what drew me to it was this unique POV. And that's usually when it's a self-told story, it's all about like how different is this one from another person's story. And what really drew me to his story was the concept of growing up Black in America. And so that really attracted me to it. And then that you are starring in it, and you know what I mean? So it was like a double whammy. I was super into it. And I'm so glad to see you are going to be involved with it. But also I love you, and my phone's about to die.
Okay.
And so I got to go. I love you so much.
I love you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You are so beautiful. All of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you.
And, Michelle will be on again sometime to talk about her other film that's coming out.
So here's the books that I've written. I mean, my stories are in. It's like Creepies 2.
Cool.
These are all available on Amazon. Let's see, that's Creepies 2. Oh, here's Creepies 3.
That looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then this one's, I love the cover on this one. Oh, and the artist is Jason Kemp. He's a great artist. He designs all these covers, and here's another one.
Oh wow.
Oh, beautiful.
Isn't that cool?
Really cool.
That's so cool. I love that. That is so
really cool.
And here's another one, Weirder Tales.
Wow, these are beautiful.
They are. And here's another one. It's Tinsel Tales. So these are
you do everything, Deborah.
I know.
Yeah, and I'm an onion grower. I opened
That's
up
my
a bag.
favorite. I have to remember that for next time you're on.
I opened up this bag that I had these onions in. So there's an onion left. So I opened it up.
You sure just not an onion opener?
I'm exaggerating. So I opened it up. Oh wait, I think I found some good lighting. Oh, there's some good lighting right there. There. I look so much better now.
You're a lighting finder.
I am a lighting finder. So anyway, I pulled out this onion, and it had sprouted some green stuff. So and then there was some roots at the bottom, and I figured, okay, well, let's see what will happen if I need some plants. I need some plants around here. I'll just stick it in a cup with water and see what happens. And look.
Oh, awesome.
And there's, I don't know if that's a little tiny onion.
Wow.
That's pretty wild, I think.
I have so much to be proud of. I have so many accomplishments. I have so much.
I think it's even cooler that you're growing it in like a coffee cup.
You know.
Better be careful if you're too sleepy in the morning and you grab that cup accidentally.
Yeah. So now if I could just be more like Neil and lose some weight, I'll be doing good. I gotta prepare. I got movies coming up.
You look beautiful, Deborah.
Yeah,
you always look beautiful. Always.
Thanks. I'm hiding my fat spots from you. You can't see them. I'm distracting you with my cleavage. If I distract, I figure, well, I have thunder thighs, but nobody's going to look. I'll just distract them. Are you distracted yet?
I think we're all distracted.
I forgot what my name is. What's
I'm
my
still
name?
thinking about the onion.
Neil's thinking about the onion. Did we play There's No Such Thing as Zombies?
Yeah, we just played that.
So I did that. That looks like a fun movie.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about it afterwards. We played it, and then we talked about everything else. But yeah, it's totally fine. It's right in line with the rest of the show, I think.
So Michael Haverfilner. Anyway, so I've had a lot of friends that I hook them up together with Michael Haverfilner because he has this great website called Search My Trash, and he's been around for years. He's interviewed thousands of people and reviewed thousands of films. So I stayed with him in Vienna, and it was great. And we're BFFs, so I love him dearly. I love his family. It was so much fun. And the main room of his flat is wall-to-wall DVDs and VHS tapes, just up and down the walls, all 4 walls, and then he has these like separate shelves and full of DVDs. Oh my gosh, wow, amazing! So he sees everything, but he's my dear friend. He helps me. He helped me put together the clips that you showed that you showed when we first came on, and yeah, so we did There's No Such Thing as Zombies, just getting stuff off the screen, and there hopefully will be a sequel, so hopefully they'll have that one sold coming up, because it's the American film market, right? Oh no, Cannes, they're going to try to sell it at Cannes, but not Cannes going over to France, it's virtual Cannes.
Mm-hmm. That's how a lot of them are.
Yeah, everything's just virtual now, so anyway, but let's see. We talked about
here.
The Severed Limbs Award, which I very proudly won for Mother, which I'm just so proud
well
of.
Deserved. Yes.
Thank you. And we talked about There's No Such Thing as Zombies. We talked about and then we showed the Debbie Rochon thing, because I love Debbie. I hope to work with her. I'm so jealous, Trista, you get to work with her.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'll be missing you.
Oh, I did work with her. Well, thank you. And
yeah,
I
you
did.
did.
I did. I worked with her on Disciples, but I don't know. I want to work with her now. Somebody put me in a movie with Debbie Rochon.
I would love that.
And then there's so many people I want to work with, and I tell them, not a whole lot, but once in a while I'll tell somebody, I really, really want to work with you, and you just throw it out there, hoping someday it'll happen.
Peter Estrada is here. Peter, hello.
Oh my God, is he on Zoom?
Yep.
Bring him on. Bring him on.
He's here.
Yep.
Are you inviting people in now?
Yeah, I posted on Facebook, so anyone who wants to zoom in.
How are you, Deborah?
Fix your camera so we can see you better, because we need that's better. There. Because all we saw was, it looked like it looked like a little kid driving a car, or a little baby.
Hey, I like that. I like that. I'm really an old man, but thank you.
Where you just see the top of their hair, and then you don't see anything, and you wonder how they can even see where they're going.
Can I say something about Deborah?
Of course.
Deborah Lamb.
He's going to embarrass me.
Yes, and you deserve it. She's wonderful because she's a wonderful human being. She took time off from a project or two and came down to one of my birthday gatherings. And when I saw her walk in, I cried. I couldn't believe that she showed up. And she's one of the nicest ladies I've ever met. She's extremely beautiful, very prolific, very talented. And when this whole situation is over, we are going to work together.
I hope so. I hope so. Peter!
And I want to thank you for Mother. Because I'm a big Hitchcock fan. I always wanted to know what happened to Norm after I gave him that blanket at the end of the movie.
Thank you. I'm so happy I got to be in that. Peter, were you on the watch party? Were you watching us?
Were you watching the show earlier?
Oh, we lost Peter, I think.
I think he muted himself.
Oh, unmute yourself. Oh, maybe he had to go to the bathroom.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Where's the camera? Oh, there you go.
I guess I'm doing it by voice.
You're cutting up on me.
Except Deborah, she always looks great.
Peter, do you have a bad internet connection?
Probably. I'm not a very good techie.
Okay,
can you see me now?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Just you look like a Q-tip. Bring your body in. Okay, there you go.
Wow.
That's much better. That's much better. Okay.
When a girl says that to a man.
Well, all I could see was his little head, and that was it.
I got you.
Peter is another. Okay, so Peter, I don't know if you know about Neil. Neil lost 160 pounds over the last couple years. How long did it take you, Neil?
It's been 18 months.
Okay, so Peter, not only is he has like a life, what do you call it, near-death experience, and he had cancer. He beat cancer, and also Peter lost how much weight? A couple hundred pounds.
Oh, well, first of all, I was dead for 2 minutes and I got resuscitated. We'll talk about what I said the other side. I was 500 pounds for about 15 months, now down to 200.
Wow.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Peter, did you just say you lost 500 pounds, or did you say you were 500 pounds?
I was 500 pounds and lost 300.
Wow.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it's nice to see my feet again.
Yeah, I've known Peter for a long time, and we actually
Who's that? Who's that? Who's that?
Who's what?
I can't place your voice. Who are you?
He's just playing around.
That just went
No, your voice is coming. Your voice is coming.
Yeah, it's coming in. It's a little low again. But last time it did it, it fixed itself in about a minute or so.
You know that keeps
go.
happening. Is it happening right now?
Yeah,
Should I go in and go out?
if you want. The last time it did a little while ago too, but it fixed itself. It didn't take too long. But if you'd like to try.
Tell me when it goes back.
All right. It did for 1 second there, but now you're back to low again.
Tell me when it fixes itself. So Peter and I actually went to the same acting school called the Van Meyer Academy of Motion Picture and Television Acting way back in the 80s. But we went, I think we kind of just missed each other, but he taught there. And Peter's a very talented person, and Peter's a very talented singer, and he's off to do great things. Is my voice still sounding funny?
Yeah.
But we understood what you said.
I can make it out fine, but it's just lower than it was on a little tinny, but it's not like distorted really or anything.
Should I go out and go in, or should I just stay here?
Now you're sounding perfect. Yeah.
Am I okay now?
Yeah. Very, very loud and very
Yay! Okay, so Peter.
There you are, beautiful.
Oh.
Thank you.
Peter's always so sweet. So anyway, yeah, Peter's a very talented person, and he is going places. He is going places. Congratulations, Peter.
And congratulations.
Congratulations,
to you,
indeed.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you, Trista. Thank you. And Neil, thank you very much for providing this fun.
You're very welcome.
Zoom thing.
Yeah. Thank you for coming in. I
Yeah.
not talked to you.
I find it interesting that these sort of grassroots, if you want to call it grassroots, sort of get-togethers or people doing these little things like this, I think just brings the community together because, it's kind of like how it all is. I mean, you were talking, Deborah, about that you're happy that people see your shows, you see your movies and everything like this, and and one person that really comes to my mind that I always think of is Ray Harryhausen. And, he was, for those who are familiar with Ray Harryhausen, that he was sort of pushed aside by Hollywood because stop motion became sort of passé. And the only people that sort of kept this going, and this is actually for everyone, is the fans.
Right.
And remember Ray Harryhausen and fans, like Neil Jones and Deborah and everyone here are fans of this genre, and you're keeping it alive and you're moving it along within your own capabilities. You don't have a lot, you don't have big screens, you don't have everything so you're using what you have to keep this love affair that you have of the genre and everything else, and you're making it happen, even in small amount, even smaller than Hollywood films, but you're doing it.
Well, if I may say this, if you study film history, you'll notice that almost all innovations came out of restrictions. going all the way back to Eisenstein, who was an editor. During the war, he didn't have much materials to work with, so he'd use the same thing over and over again. And when you're restricted, you become artistic. You surpass limitations. You know, it makes you a survivor. So even though we can't get together too often physically, we can still get together emotionally and, you know, mentally during things like, you know, through things like Zoom and all that. So we appreciate what we can do.
Yeah, I'm so glad you could join us, Peter. And I was going to say something about I can never say it. Say it.
Harryhausen.
Harryhausen. So, you know, Bill Oberst, right? Bill Oberst Jr., you know, he's doing that Ray, I don't know, what's the show called?
He's doing Ray Bradbury.
Yeah.
Oh, Ray Bradbury. I love Ray Bradbury.
Oh, that's a different person.
Yeah, but he's doing a one-man show as Ray Bradbury.
Ray, I got confused, but
No worries.
right. But it's
They're both very cool Rays. Yeah.
It's the same like era, you know, that era that they were both in during the same time doing their thing. And it's kind of like the same type of personality that he's doing the show. So it's really cool that Bill is keeping the memory of Ray Bradbury. Is it Bradbury? It's Bradbury.
Yes.
Yep.
Keeping the memory alive that way. You know, like, you know, I really don't want to get into any kind of politics or the negative stuff happening right now, but one thing that I really saddens me is the destruction of historical things. And you know, I know things change, and you know, this used to happen in Egypt all the time. They would just wipe out a whole memory of a particular leader, you know, pharaoh or whatever they didn't like, and they just destroyed everything. And it happens, you know. But I just find the destruction of history, because I love history, I love films, I love the history of films, and you know, I just love that, you know, it's a shame that they're saying that some films they're not going to play, like Gone with the Wind. I mean, come on, these are beautiful, beautiful films.
I think they're going a little bit too far. You can't make people accountable for something they did or something that was done eons ago. We art reflects the times, and you know, those things were made. That's why they're called classics, because they were made to fit the times, and they still work well today. I remember studying that the Birth of a Nation by D.W. Griffith. He actually did not understand that he was being racist because he was brought up that way. Once he realized it, and once he became enlightened, that's when he did Intolerance, which was he was damning prejudice around the world. He was saying it was a wrong thing. So that was his apology to the industry.
Yeah. But you know, like any films, you know, I mean, of course, Gone with the Wind is one thing, but I mean, oh gosh, here I'm having a brain fart again. But the woman, what's her name? Peter, you probably know.
Scarlett.
You know
Scarlett O'Hare.
No, the black woman.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. And she was like the first person to get some sort of an award at the Oscars. I forget her name.
I know. It slips my brain because I don't have any computer in front of me. But I know her name, but I can't think of it.
She was Gone with the Wind, right? She was in Gone with the Wind.
Right.
Yeah, but
she was the maid. Yeah.
Right.
But she, you know, she won the Oscar, so it's terrible to say, oh, we can't, you know, we're not going to watch Gone with the Wind, or you can't play Gone with the Wind. I mean, Gone with the Wind was historical, and, you know, whatever, you know, political thing you want to make
I got it.
You know,
it's Haiti McDaniel.
Thank you. Yeah.
Haiti McDaniel.
Yeah. So, so, you know, I mean, she's a celebrated person, and, you know, the woman, Aunt Jemima, the woman behind Aunt Jemima, she died a millionaire. She was, you know, she was born into slavery, but she was freed, and she became a very successful cook, and, you know, so, but I don't want to get into all that, but I just love films and like these something got in my eye. So I'm not crying, people. I just got something in my eye. Like The Thin Man. I love the Thin Man films, and it's all drinking and smoking. And all these Humphrey Bogart films and the Lauren Bacall films, all it is everybody's walking around drinking and smoking 24/7. It's so funny. But, you know, I mean, people don't do that anymore. You know, I mean, just the way life is and the way...
That's funny. That's funny you say that, Deborah, because when I teach acting, I give my students a film list. And they freak out because, well, he was in trouble. Why didn't he get on his cell phone? They didn't have him back then. Why is he smoking? Well, cigarettes were okay back then. Society just changes so much.
They did on Netflix. They did make it TV 14 if you have smoking in it.
You know, it reminded me of the old Bugs Bunny cartoons. There was the one where he goes into the dream of Elmer Fudd and he downs a whole bottle of sleeping pills, like a whole bottle to go into a dream. And I'm like, that never made me want to down a whole bottle of sleeping pills because Bugs Bunny, a cartoon, did it. You know what I mean?
Political correctness is getting crazy.
Yeah, these older films, and you know, it goes for books too. You know, there's been plenty of times, you know, plenty of big, I don't know exactly when, but I know there's been plenty of times where there was these huge book burnings where, you know, they were burning all the books and because those are evil and you know, they were portraying something. But these films that are classic films over the ages, you know, of course, if a film like that was made today, well, they wouldn't be made today, but if a certain type of story was made today, it wouldn't be made like it was made in the 30s or 20s or back when film first began. It would be different, of course. So these are time capsules. You know, you may not agree, you may not like what it portrays, but that's a time capsule of how society was. So it's just a look back into history. And you know, I love looking at historical footage from, you know, in old films, and you see how the streets were.
I do too.
And the way people talked. And sure, you know, there's always oppression somewhere. You know, somebody's always being oppressed. You know, I would love to think that there'd be some scenario where we could all live in a harmonious world. I don't know if that's possible or not. Maybe it could be possible. I don't know. But you know.
And Deborah.
What?
Deb, don't you agree that in order for a society to progress, they should also know where they came from? I mean, look how far we've come. A lot of people don't have that perspective because if they lose history. Wow, look how much we've been, you know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but that whole thing. I don't want to get all serious. I want to keep this fun.
So, Deborah, I saw that you were in RoboCop.
Yeah, that's one of the films, unfortunately, I got cut out of. But you can catch me in the deleted scene if you get the Blu-ray, because I know because my friend Chris Notarali, I know I'm saying your name wrong, Chris. I was over there.
He should just change how it's pronounced to how you pronounce it. That would be easier.
I know. I got to ask him how to say it again. I'm embarrassed because I keep forgetting. He's going to think I'm just an
kidding
idiot.
If he's listening. Right, yeah.
He's going to be like, you know, Deborah Lamb's a nice girl, but
it's okay, Deborah. Geniuses have brain farts.
So anyway, I was over there, and we got on the subject of, we were shooting the poster for Men in Black West Coast. And this was at the beginning of March before all this came down. And so we were talking about RoboCop, and I was saying, yeah, I got cut out, and you know, but somebody did show me somewhere online that the deleted scene is somewhere. So he had a Blu-ray of it, and it was on there. It was on the deleted scenes. And I'll tell the story real quick. I've told this story so many times. So, you know, Paul Verhoeven was really, really, really big at the time. So I got to work, and it was the same time around as when I worked on Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So I got to work on RoboCop, those commercials where the guy says, hey, I'd buy that for $1, hey. And got the, you know, the naked girls. So I was in one of the commercials. Now in the final cut of the film, they keep using the same commercial over and over, but they had shot other commercials of this with the same guy. So I'm in one of them, and I'm juggling is pizza girls pounding the pizza dough pie thing. We're pounding away. Now we're wearing little aprons, but we're topless. So those were during my early topless days. And so during, they were changing the lighting or something. So, you know, and the funny guy with the mustache is like, hey, buy that for $1. And so then during one of the breaks, we're still standing there because they're going to shoot some more, but they're changing something around. So I just grabbed, I was juggling at the time. That's during my improv juggling days. So fire eating, juggling, I did it all. And
onion
so
growing.
What?
Onion growing, fire.
Well, onion growing is a new skill. I just acquired onion growing just like a couple days ago.
All right.
So I just added that to my repertoire. So I grabbed some pizza dough and I made them little balls, and I was juggling these pizza dough balls. And so he looks, just to pass the time, because I'm just standing there, you know. So he looks over and he's like, oh, I like it. Do that. So, you know, then in the commercial, I'm juggling these pizza dough balls, juggling balls. And, but my pizza dough ball juggling scene didn't make it.
No.
But it's in the outtakes, you can see it.
Yeah, and here you are juggling doughy balls and
juggling balls.
Yeah.
Where'd Peter go?
I think he's coming back in here.
Oh, he's coming back. Okay, so anyway, so this morning I got distracted because this morning, so you know, you guys aren't LA people, but we have a very dear red carpet photographer. His name's Bob Del Giato, and he goes by Uncle Bob. So I've known Bob for years, and in fact, we did a photo shoot a couple years ago. It was a really good photo shoot we did. But he's always on the red carpet, so I'm seeing him all the time. I love Bob to death. And so, you know, Ron Jeremy's been in the news, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, welcome back, Peter. So Ron Jeremy.
I'm having trouble with the signal. I'm sorry. My apologies.
Okay. Okay.
Just time to hear Ron Jeremy's story.
So
my lucky day.
So he posts a picture because he's, you know, a red carpet and events photographer. So he shoots all the stars and everybody, and he shot me many times on the red carpet at these premieres. So he posts a picture of Ron Jeremy. Now he didn't say anything for or against Ron Jeremy. He just put the picture and just put the fact that he's, you know, allegedly, you know, being accused of this and whatever. So so, you know, I wasn't going to comment. I just saw it, you know, because I know Bob. I love Bob, and I know Ron. I met Ron.
Okay.
So I wasn't going to say anything. I'm like, okay, it's another one of these guys, you know. And as a woman in Hollywood, you know, we know these guys, right, Trista? Yeah. So you know, and I've seen so much. I've had so many different experiences with these types of people. So, but I wasn't going to say anything. But my friend Tani Embryon, who I worked on in Disciples. Oh, did you see that, Trista? Did you see the feed and all the comments and everything? Did you happen to? Did you?
I saw the film. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Oh, okay, no, the post.
No.
Okay. So anyway, Tani Amber Young, she's the nun in that film, and yeah, she was really good in it too. So she doesn't do a lot of films, but when she does, she's very good. So she had commented on there. There was a lot of comments. A lot of people were coming to Ron's defense, saying, "Oh, he's the nicest, sweetest person I've ever known. He would never do anything like that. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It can't be true. It's not true. I've known him. He's so sweet. I've met him." You know, a lot of people say. So I'm like, and so my friend Tani wrote that her experience, and I guess it's okay to say it, you know, publicly, because she, you know, was talking about it publicly. So she was writing her experience, writing about her experience with Ron. They were at some kind of convention, and she's does a lot of modeling, but she has never been anywhere having to do with the porn industry. She doesn't do any porn modeling, or, you know, she doesn't do anything X-rated, just like bikini modeling. But she's gorgeous. If I had her body, I'd be in a bikini too. And so
Excuse me, you're beautiful. What are you talking about?
I'm not exactly bikini ready right now. So anyway.
Oh.
But thank you. So she was saying her experience with him, it was at a, you know, they have those giant adult expo conventions. I mean, the really big ones. They have one in Vegas. I think it was the one in Vegas. They're huge.
AVN.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was that exact one, but it was one of the big ones. So I guess this happened several years ago. And so she was there. She was a model, you know, and she was there, and she was with another model friend of hers. And he comes over, and they're talking, and he just sticks his hand down her pants, and whoop, I'm losing the phone. He stuck his hand down her pants, and you know, inserted his fingers where they shouldn't have gone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he actually, you know, slightly injured her too. She said, you know, she was injured. It injured her. So and then all these people are saying, and now I know Tani, and Tani's not going to lie about that. I know she's not. I've never heard her come out and, like, you know, because I do see these people that seem to, like, come out a lot, like, this person did this to me, and that person did that to me, and I don't like this person, and this happened and that happened. A lot of drama on Facebook that, you know, they make public, but, you know, Tani doesn't do that. So I know her, so I know it's true. And plus I know it's true because Ron Jeremy accosted me. So
Fred, oh my God.
I met Ron Jeremy. I probably met him a couple times. I don't remember. It was so long ago. And, you know, it's not like Ron Jeremy's my top priority of remembering exactly my interactions with Ron Jeremy. But, you know, I've been entertained by Ron Jeremy. You know, he comes off as a very sweet guy. He's like, you know, the huggable, sweet teddy bear, like, really, oh, I'm just an innocent old man. I used to be a top porno actor, but now I'm just a sweet old man. You know, I'm so cute. Look at me, I'm cute. So, you know, I met him a couple times, just briefly, probably at conventions. I'm not sure. And then I did this, like, little low budget B movie. It was just a B movie, not porn. I don't do porn. I've never done porn. So, just in case people are getting the wrong idea. And, ooh, Deborah Lamb was in a movie with Ron Jeremy. Yeah, so it was just some low budget B movie in LA. And so, I mean, it was no big deal. It's not like I was hanging out with the guy, but he was there, and I think I probably chatted with him. No big deal. So then I'm at some other event, you know, not that long after, maybe a year or so. I don't know. I can't remember anything. So, I take that back. I do remember things, but the things I can't remember, I admit to not being able to remember. So, if that makes any sense. So then, so I'm at something, and with my boyfriend, he wasn't my boyfriend at the time, but, you know, we were still really good friends because we're lifelong friends. He's Steve Pulte, who did the photography for my calendar. So I was with him and somebody else, and we were at some, like, event. Not really an event. It was, I don't know what it was. It was some weird thing. So we were there, and Ron Jeremy was there. And so we're sitting there next to Ron Jeremy, And, you know, I had met him a couple times, so I was, you know, like, hi, Ron, you know, it's nice to see you again. And he just like, fast as lightning. I think he does this habitually, but he just stuck his hand down my top, and I wasn't wearing like a really, especially, you know, it wasn't like a sexy top or anything. And I didn't have as much cleavage as I do.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said it wouldn't matter if it was.
No,
Does it,
exactly.
you know?
Exactly, and it wouldn't matter if you did porn. You know.
Yes,
Exactly. Yeah, that's
the
a
porn
good point.
actor.
Yeah.
But go on.
No, I'm not saying that having to do with this.
I know. I understand what you're saying.
It wouldn't have mattered if I
In other words, under no conditions was that appropriate. Especially in public.
No, I just said I
you're a
don't
lady.
do one thing in case people, you know, thought,
Right, no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, for sure.
Well, anyway, yeah, so he sticks his hand down my top, and he grabs my boob, and he pulls my boob right out of my top, and he's like, you know, fondling my boob, and I vaguely remember maybe he like put his mouth on my boob, but I don't know for sure that. I don't remember if he did for sure. I kind of vaguely think he might have, but that's not the point. The point is he grabbed my boob and took my boob right out of my bra and out of my top, and like I'm sitting there and my boob's out, and he's grabbing my boob, and I'm like,
What an asshole.
Yeah, so, I mean, it just happened really fast, and that's what Tani was saying about what happened with her. It just happened super fast. She said, like, 20 people were standing around and just, like, gawking. They were just looking, and then nobody cared. Nobody did anything. And I'm not trying to pick on Ron Jeremy, because I know that I'm sure there are tons of people that have hung out with Ron Jeremy that he didn't do that to. But the fact is, he has done it. He did it to me, and he did it to Tani. Worse for Tani. I mean, mine was just my boob. But you know, so there's these people. But I find it so interesting that the and a bunch of a couple of men kind of came to both me and Tani's defense, because there was that's the only reason I posted. That's because, you know, it's not like I'm thinking about this stuff. I mean, it happened so long ago, and it's totally out of my mind, but it made me think, you know, I wanted to come to her defense because some people were.
I even noticed on our own group, when I shared the link about it, there were a lot of people that actually I'd never even seen in the group before. They suddenly decided this was the thing they want to reply to, and they were just like, you
about
know,
Ron Jeremy?
Yeah, like, oh, this is bullshit.
Well,
and, you know,
I
it's not
know,
based on anything. Just like they just want to say it was bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, I know some.
And then they also said, like, why would someone have to do that if they're in porn? But it's like, well, why would anyone really have to?
But he's not anymore, and he hasn't been for ages.
Yeah.
He hasn't been for a very long time. But it's just a habitual. It's a habitual thing he does, and you know. So of course, I don't doubt for a second that these allegations are true, and to have these people, you know, come out, these especially the women saying, oh no, they're lying, they are lying. I know Ron Jeremy, he would never do that. It's like, well, obviously he didn't do it to you, and that's good, and he was sweet to you, and that's good. But, you know, come on.
When it's multiple people, if it's one person, I mean.
But they say a thousand Frenchmen can't be wrong, as they say. Like, I know someone who's in the. What's that?
Is that what they say?
Yeah, 1,000 Frenchmen can't be wrong. But I know someone.
I never heard that. That's interesting.
I know someone who used to work in that business. The X-rated business, was an actor.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who have.
Yeah. And we were talking about the thing with Ron Jeremy, and she said, oh yeah, everything. She firmly believes that all the accusations are true. She's seen his behavior. She too was, I think, accosted. And you're right, just so that doesn't matter what you do, if you do porn or whatever, and Neil, it doesn't mean that they're easy.
Right. No, I wasn't trying to say that.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I have a, you know, when I first started out, I did a couple little things where I was doing nude modeling. I never had any bad experiences with that. You know, you know, I did a couple Playboy things. Everything I did in the, like those kind of photo shoots were all very professional. And then I started out doing some Electric Blue. There used to be this show when cable was new, and one of the first cable channels with HBO and a couple others was the Playboy channel. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, does anybody remember Electric Blue, the show Electric Blue?
I'm old enough to.
Do you remember that, Peter?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I did.
And I remember Playboy After Dark and all those shows. I mean, Playboy actually had an ethical approach to things. Hugh Hefner was really a very nice guy, a lot of people say. And I wanted to say something real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think in that type of industry, it even requires even more discipline to be a professional, because I can see how that type of industry, to somebody who's not a professional, they might consider the intimacy factor overlapping into the real world. But any kind of work in this industry requires professionalism if you want endurance. And I started out this whole broadcast by saying the reason why you're as good as you are, Deborah, is because you never lost your inner beauty. I mean, you're a charming lady. You're down to earth. You're never bitter or not that I've seen. You're never hurtful. You just love being in this entertainment business, and it fills you with joy. And that's the only type of people I have around me. You met my friends. They're all that way. I don't want to be around people who are lowest common denominator. And I think lowest common denominator in that type of business can be pretty dangerous. I'm sure he's not the only one who's acted like that way. And I'm also sure that a lot of professionals would. So it's really tough. And I'm really sorry that happened to you, because you are a total lady.
You know, considering, you know, I've had other, you know, tons of experiences along these lines. So, I mean, it's nothing that traumatized me. I have other things to be traumatized by other than, you know, but it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. And I was shocked. I was taken aback.
Demeaning.
It was very demeaning. It was very disrespectful. It was so disrespectful.
Exactly.
And I was just like, hey, what do I do now? So, you know, but the whole thing was very quick. You know, it wasn't a prolonged thing.
But it could have hurt your reputation at that convention itself. I mean, people who don't know you, they see that. They might assume that that's something that didn't bother you and you're okay with it. And you don't want people thinking that. It's just not right.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people actually saw that going on, but I was with my dear family friend, and it was Steve Palti, and I was with another friend, and I think I remember which friend it was, but you know, another guy friend. And I was like, you know, we just kind of looked at each other like, okay. And, but then it was over very quickly, and then things were just back to normal, I guess. But I was just like, okay, that was not really cool, but you know, but yeah, I mean, women, I know a lot of filmmakers who view women as just objects, really. I'm sure, Trista, you've come across many filmmakers and who view women as objects and who are disrespectful to women, but they don't do it in a way that calls attention to the fact that they are that way, right, Trista?
Yeah, I guess, like you were mentioning with Ron Jeremy, how people would say, I've actually met him as well, like a lot of people, and he didn't do anything to me, but that doesn't take away from other people's stories.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how that could, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think a lot of abusers are very manipulative. Otherwise, they wouldn't be very effective abusers, right?
Exactly. And they're not going to.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
And they're not going to do that in a situation where they think they're going to get called out for. They do it in a situation where they think they can get away with it. And, you know, and then plus it's Ron Jeremy. And again, I'm not picking on Ron Jeremy. It's just something that just came up. You know, I have no qualms against Ron Jeremy. You know, I just believe that if there are these women coming out saying he did this, I happen to believe it's true that he probably did. And, you know, just because he's a nice, sweet guy, I was married to a complete psychopath who people loved. Oh, they loved him. Oh, he was charming and handsome and funny. He was a psycho. Very big psycho. You know, so, but I totally don't want to get into that. But, you know, these people, I mean, Ted Bundy, look at these people.
I was going to say that, like, you know, like a serial killer. Oh, he didn't kill me. That doesn't mean he didn't kill anybody else, you know.
Yeah, just because he didn't kill you.
Right. There's tons of people he met that he didn't kill, but that doesn't mean that
like
you know, people he killed are fine.
It's like Trista said. Trista said that manipulators can only be good if they're charming about it. And Ted Bundy was the most charming. He was the boy next door. Boy, that was his secret, and he was intelligent. So, yeah, if you see them a mile away, you can defend yourself. If it sneaks up on you like that, that's.
But from what I understand, the Ron Jeremy stuff, there was, you know, stories about him for years out there before this really.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
You know, a bigger thing.
Do you want to bring people on to Zoom so they can ask questions, or do people?
Yeah, if anyone wants to zoom in, I'll post this on Facebook. You guys can zoom.
Well,
in. I know it's getting kind of late here, but
yeah,
but you also did Enterprise.
As a matter of fact, I have to go. I have to go
again too. So. Was that?
I do have to go. I do have to go. I just want to say thank you, Neil. Nice to have met you, Trista.
Nice
and
meeting
Deborah.
you.
Deborah, you're always in my heart. And you know, if you ever need anything, let me know. Okay.
You're always so sweet. Yeah, Peter's always so sweet. Thank
Goodbye,
you, Peter.
everybody. Thank you.
I'm glad you joined us.
Okay. God bless. Thank you. And please keep safe and healthy, you and your family. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Too. Yeah. Yeah, Peter's quite a story. He's been through hell and back, and you know, I'm very proud of what he's accomplished. But, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. It's a great story.
So you did Enterprise too.
I did. My Enterprise story. Okay. Another thing I got cut out of.
Really?
Trista, have you been cut out of a bunch of stuff? I keep, you know.
I don't, not yet, but I'm sure I will be. It's just part of it.
I edited her out of these videos.
I was going to say I got cut out of my parents' will, but that's, you know, what can you do?
Trista, you got to come closer. I can barely see you. You're so far away. Come.
Oh, you know, the sun is setting here. I didn't have enough light set up.
You're blurry. Yeah, that's better. Now I can see you better. You were sitting so far away. You're so far away. Come back.
Trista, come to the light. Yes, I thought the exact same thing.
Come back, Shane. Come back, Shane. Don't go.
Thank you for sharing that story with us, Deborah.
Yeah,
really vulnerable. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you know, I've had, you know, my run-ins with people. I've had these kind of experiences, but you know, luckily for me, nothing overly traumatic because I already have PST from my childhood. So, you know, I'm already, you know, whatever. I don't think a whole lot phases me, but I see it. You know, I see this manipulative, abusive behavior, and it's so common among filmmakers and actors too. And you know, back in the day, you know, I had big A-list actors, you know, try to tell me, oh, leave your boyfriend, and you know, you should hook up with somebody like me, you know, because I was with my boyfriend for 12 years. Steve Paulty, who did the calendar, we made a great team at the time, but and we're as close as ever now. We're like family. But you know, they would say, "Oh, you need to break up with your boyfriend and get with somebody who can really help you." And you know, it's like I could see where they were coming from. And these are big name actors. If I told you, you would be like, "Wow." You know, I mean, I had a lot of people trying to get with me, but back in the day when I was young and cute. Now I'm old and cute. But yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, and I said to them, I'm not going to break up with my boyfriend to get with somebody just for my career. I'm not going to do that. And, you know, I mean, we eventually did split up for legitimate reasons, but I wasn't going to dump my boyfriend to get with some actor. And my thought always was on that. And I still go, you know, I still have the same belief now. Of course, I'm happily married. So, we were actually separated for a couple years. So, but we got back together last year and it's wonderful. So anyway.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I just wanted to throw that out there in case anyone was confused, because it's like, wait, weren't you single? Yeah, I was. I was single for a couple of years, 2.5 years. And anyway, but it's like, this is my thought. Okay, so, and I know this is a common way of young actresses to get into films and to you know, make their way in Hollywood. And I'm not, look at me, I'm not a big celebrity, I'm not a big star, so, you know, who knows, maybe it would have helped. But my logic, this is my logic. For one, I'm just not that kind of a girl. But my logic is okay, I break up with my boyfriend and get with so-and-so name actor who everybody knows. Okay, so I go to all these parties, la-di-da, and then I'm arm candy. And then that person gets tired of me, because they will. And then I'm not all fresh and, you know, I'm not all exciting because I'm the new thing to this one person. So they get rid of me. Okay. But I still, you know, want to make it climb up the ladder. So then I get with the next guy and, you know, 6 months, a year goes by and that person gets tired of me. So I eventually, you know, get passed down between all these guys. It's like, that's horrible. I'm not going to do that. I don't care if I, you know, I mean, I would like to think I can make it in and have an acting career on my own merits and with my talent, and I work hard. And, you know, I had directors back then say, well, you know, and, you know, wink, wink, if you, you know, get with me, I could do something for your career. But, you know, and then, but what does that get you? I mean, really, where does that get you? I'm sure for some people, like, you know, Marilyn Monroe, I mean, come on. I love Marilyn Monroe, but everybody knows, you know, she got to where she was because of, you know, the men she kept company with. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not trying to shame anyone who does that. I'm just saying, for me, logically, I felt like in the end, what? Okay, so I get a big movie. Let's say I get a big movie because I'm with such and such big star and I'm his arm candy for the week. And then what? So I'm in a big movie. Then what? So then I'm with some other guy. Oh, so I'm in a big movie. I mean, some people get very lucky. I admire these actresses who have these fantastic careers and win Oscars and win awards and are in fantastic films that I would love to be in, and I would love to get the opportunity to play certain parts, and I would love to get the opportunity to work with big name directors. Well, I have worked with them a couple of times, but I keep getting cut out. What is with that? Oh, maybe I should have slept with them. I'm just kidding. No, seriously, I'm kidding. Yeah, so that was my logic. It's like, so what does that, in the end, what does that get you? You know, I'm like, okay, then what? Then you're just, you know.
And probably you get that reputation of being that type of person who got there by doing that, not on their capabilities as an actor.
Yeah, you know, and it does, it's very, very, I mean, it's so common. It's very, very common. And you know, if you're a single woman or a single young lady or a single aspiring actress and you know, do hook up with, you know, some people who can do something for you, that's great. I mean, I applaud anybody who, you know, gets into a relationship with somebody and can that person can help them, because I know a lot of couples who do really well. They help each other, and they're both in the business, and they help each other to get to where they're going, and that's great. So I don't mean it like that. I just meant that I had a boyfriend. I was in a relationship, a long-standing relationship, that I wasn't going to just break up with somebody just so I could have the hopes of maybe getting into a movie. You know, I just wasn't going to do that. And so, you know, I don't know how we got on this serious subject.
We went from Ron Jeremy to...
Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, I mean, I don't knock anybody for whatever they do to make it to whatever they want to do, but you know, everybody has what they feel comfortable with and what they don't feel comfortable with. And you know, for me, I just want to work with good people. I just want to work with Trista.
Oh, thank you. I want to work with you as well. For a moment, I thought this was an intervention. I was like, does Deborah think I'm sleeping with directors? Like, what is going on? There were like some strong illusions.
It's a very open conversation.
No, I figured, you know, I really seriously don't believe that any actress, any female performer has, or, you know, and a lot of actors, you know, a lot of the male performers, I don't believe any of us have not had someone say or try to, you know, tell us that, oh, you know, come with me and I'll make you a star, kid. You know, I don't think, well, not literally make you a star, but, you know, I'll put you in my movie if, you know, I don't think any of us have not had some experience with that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, there was, you know, Neil introduced me as the makeup artist. There was a lot of stories that even I heard from, you know, women trying to come into the business as makeup artists who were like, hey, you know, I can get you a little bit of position on it if you know. But, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I think we're making big strides.
No, I was going to say, so it was, I've told Michael Epstein this off air, but when I was, we did a movie, 2 movies, but one movie in February, and I have a producer credit, and there's a couple actresses who sent me, you know, just sending me nude pictures, like right after it was announced.
You mean just out of the blue? Just
yeah, they were like, yes, and they were just, well, they started like, oh, I saw, you know, you produced whatever, and then they honestly just started sending me nude pictures, and I was like,
was it me?
You're producing.
It wasn't you, but it was like, I don't know, it's just like, first of all, like, you should aim higher, because I'm not going to do anything for you.
Yeah. Well, you know, but I think now, you know, I think as time goes on, things get better and better and better and better. And still, it's like, you know, the more things change, more things stay the same. And in some respects, that's kind of sort of true. But in some respects, there are big leaps and bounds. And I think just, I think both, filmmaking is so hard. So I just like to work with the people who just want to make art and who aren't in it, because you can see the people who are in it to get laid. You can see the people who are in it to, whether they're the actor, whether they're the filmmaker, or whatever they are. You can see the people who are just really wanting to gravitate toward this industry because they want to hook up. They think that'll be a good way to meet girls or meet guys, you know, whatever it is. And then there's the people who are in it for the art, the people who understand that it's hard work, which it is. You know, it amazes me that there are people who don't understand the hard work that goes into making a film. So even if you see a film that's kind of schlocky and you don't think it's very good and you're like, that wasn't very good. But just to even make a bad film, it's a lot of work. Just to make something is so much work. So I applaud all my filmmaker friends out there. Congratulations to you all. My hat's off to you. It's a freaking hard business. I always say to myself, I got to do something else. This is ridiculous. But I love it. I love it. I love filmmaking. I love all my filmmaker friends. I love you, Neil. I love you, Greg, even though I just met you. I love you, Trista, and Michelle, and all my peeps. And I do this because I love it, and I love you all.
Oh, we love you.
Well,
Thank you. I love you too.
And honestly, that's why I always did the show. It's not like getting rich off this, but yeah, do all this stuff.
But you get all the
love doing it.
scratch-off games that you're winning off of. All
Well,
the
that's
time.
not related to the show, but yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
agree.
this is funny.
But also doing I did a couple movies with Michael, and it did give me a different appreciation of exactly what you said. Like even a movie, because there used to be something if I see a really bad movie, I might say, "Oh, it's terrible," but I see it a little different now. So I won't say like I loved it, but I might not just say, "Oh, this is a terrible movie" or something. Because like you said, it took a lot of work to make it.
Yeah, it is hard work. I mean, I have all these ideas about like, ooh, if I had money and if I had resources, I'd do this and I'd do that and I'd do this. And I think about who could I get to come together with me and help me make a movie, because you can't do it by yourself. And I think, ooh, maybe I could get this person to help me. I can collaborate with that person. And I am actually behind the scenes in development with some people for some films. And but it's such hard work, and it's like, oh, I gotta get somebody to do this and this and this because I'm not doing it, because it's freaking hard work.
Yes, yeah. And the last one I did with Michael, I quit. Not that I've ever really done anything. So I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Then I was like, I think I'd like to do it again. And Michael Sophia told me that's what everyone does after you produce a movie. You don't want to do it again until you want to do it again. So. But yeah.
Well, I started back in the 80s. I started out taking ballet when I was a kid. I started taking ballet when I was 7 to 14, and I was in all these nice ballet theatrical productions for years, and so I've been doing it since I was a kid, and then I got into hi puppy, and I got into I continued dance in high school and drama class, and got into acting after I left high school. So I think I'm stuck. I don't think I'm going anywhere.
Well, good.
Very good. Good to hear. Before we do wrap up, I do want to bring up Lake of Shadows is coming out.
Oh,
the poster is awesome. At some point, I'm not sure exactly when, but we're going to be doing a Lake of Shadows cast and crew show, which will be a lot of fun. Hopefully, Deborah will be on that as well.
Yeah, please invite me. I'd love to do it.
So what can you say about Lake of Shadows? I know they've been making it for a while, so I'm excited about it.
Yeah, we shot it. I think it was actually shot a couple years ago. Yeah, I'm in a segment. I'm like in a flashback segment with Alyssa Dowling and another actor, and I'm so sorry, his name slips my mind. I know who it is. I just can't think of his name right now. But it was a flashback. It's done in like a sepia tone, and it's done like we're in a turn of the century Western town, and I'm the saloon madam, and Alyssa's husband, he keeps visiting me at the saloon, and it drives her mad, and then she kind of goes over the edge. But it's this really, really cool vignette, and it's done like a silent film, and it's done like a tickety, I don't know how to describe it, kind of a tickety old tiny film, silent film, and it's like sepia color, so it's got those nice warm browns. And we did it in front of a green screen, so behind us, it was so clever how Michael did this. I was really, really impressed. I have never seen this done before, but we were like in these picture frames, like pictures on a wall. So the one picture would be Alyssa and her husband, like portraying the homestead in front of their house, and then he would cross over into the other picture frame, and it would be me in the saloon, and he would step over and come in and be with me in the saloon, and it was really cool. I can't wait for you to see it, but I really loved that segment. And then I finally did see the whole thing, and it's really good. I think people will like it. There's a lot of people in it. Sherry Davis. I think Sherry Davis is. Yeah. Sherry Davis is in it. Donna Lee Heising, who's a dear friend of mine, she's in it. There's
Rose.
Sarah French is in it, I believe.
Sarah, I was going to say Sarah, Felissa, Robert. How do you say his name? Yeah, thank you.
Robert, he's very cool
Robert
guy.
Lusardo. I don't know if Michael Wainwright. I think Michael Wainwright might be in it. He's a friend of mine. A bunch of people, and of course, Tino, who's the producer, Zamora, and Michael, and Michael S. Rodriguez, and it's a really cool project. So I can't wait for them. I know they've it was in post for quite some time, and it's just about to come out any time now. They're going to have a premiere for it sometime, after this stuff is over in Fresno. I think they're going to have it in Fresno, I think they said. So, I hope to be there for that because I'm very supportive of what they did, but they did a job.
Yeah. And I've known Alyssa for years, and it's very cool to see her. She's really taken off the last year or so.
I know. She was in Disciples too, Alyssa. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew her from, she used to be at all the conventions when I started going, in the, 2011, 2012. And then, she was in stuff, but now she's become a pretty big actor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's doing amazing. And her baby is the most beautiful baby on the planet.
Yeah, I've seen him on I've seen him on Facebook. Very cute.
Yeah, she's doing really well, and so I'm very happy to be doing all these things amongst all my actor friends, and I always love working with new people. I love working with the people I've worked with before. So I just love movies and movie making and filmmaking and acting.
Yeah.
I get tired of the politics sometimes, but the actual art of making films, I'll just never get tired of.
It's good. I know Trista, she works with a lot of people that she knows, and I assume when you find people that you do you work well with and you can trust that, it's good to stick with those people.
Yeah. I've worked with Lynn Lowry a bunch of times. I love working with Lynn Lowry. We were in There's No Such Thing as Zombies together, although we shot our stuff separately, but we're still in the same film. And then there was a film that we shot that I don't think it's ever going to go anywhere, but we were working on that. And then we were working on a thing called Espresso to Die For, which is a really funny short film, which Michael Haberfeldner wrote and produced, and Eddie Bemeke directed. Eddie Bemeke also directed There's No Such Thing as Zombies, so I want to give a shout out to him. And he won awards for that also. So I'm in a good group of people. I have some filmmakers I can't talk about yet, but I'm going to be working with them. People that I'm really, really stoked to be working with. But I can't talk about it yet.
All right.
But so I've got The Deceased Won't Desist happening soon. I got Black Wolf happening pretty soon. I've got Men in Black West Coast. I've got You Like to Draw coming up. I've got in Colorado. I've got there's more. There's another one that might be happening next month, and there's a few other ones, and then there's the ones I can't talk about.
Very good. Well, we'll have you back on when you can talk about them.
Yeah. I hope I haven't talked your ears off too much.
No, I think it's been. I've had a great
your
time.
company.
Yeah, this has
I
been.
think it's been a very nice, honest
I've had a wonderful
conversation.
time, yeah.
I thought we were going to have more people in the Zoom.
Well, we were playing the videos and stuff, so I didn't get it posted till late about zooming in. But we can always do that. We can do it earlier next time. That's
Yeah. Okay. So, are people still watching on the party?
Yeah.
Are they looking at us right now?
They are looking at us right now.
Hi, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know who's out there because I'm not on the watch party, but thank you.
Before I leave, I don't want to say AJ Zilla, I'm not sure how you say your last name, but he's had a lot of health problems lately. He's lost surgeries and stuff, and he's recovering. And a long-time listener and a very nice, sportive guy. And good wishes to him, and hope speedy recovery and that he feels better very soon.
Yeah, love and prayers to you.
We're thinking of you, AJ.
I don't know you very well, but good luck to you. So,
all right, you could still wish him well.
Of course,
Craig.
absolutely, absolutely.
Were there any questions before we go?
I'd have to scroll around, but a lot of people were asking how you got involved in Mother, but we went over that.
Okay. We did. We talked about
well,
that.
let me ask you this question, because there was a question that I posted.
I did miss some
I
some of my played in Facebook too. But go on, Chris.
It's
hard for me to follow everything during the live show. But yeah.
Okay, makeup wise, because what I do. I think you had opened it up and you were talking about makeup, that you wore some makeup, right? So do you think, how do you feel about putting on prosthetics and full body makeups, like suits almost?
One thing, I don't know have you done this, Trista? Have you done any creature acting where you're a creature?
Yeah, I did an alien one, like you were mentioning. I've done
you did, what was that? What did you do?
It never came out, but I did get fitted and wear the suit and everything.
Oh, you were asking me about Enterprise. Okay, so in Enterprise, I had, it was so cool, but I couldn't take any pictures. I would have gotten in so much trouble. And this is before cell phones. And I was on I think, isn't that Paramount? Is that Paramount?
Paramount, yeah.
So I was on the lot, and I was hired as a fire eater to be in the pilot of Enterprise, the one with Scott Bakula. And so this was the pilot, and so we were on the set, and I was made the makeup was incredible, but there's no pictures of it. And then I got cut out, so you can't see it. But I am in this article that you can find online, and it lists all the people that were cut out of Enterprise and some of the others. I don't think it was just Enterprise. I think it was some of the other, it might have been some of the other it was other Star Trek shows too. And so I'm on there. You see a picture, but all you see is you don't see the giant alien head on my head. Because I'm fire eating with the torches, and how you fire eat is you have to have your head all the way back, and then you have the torch. I know this looks kind of pornographic, but you have the torch, and it goes in your mouth, so you're like, ah. And then the flames go straight up in your mouth, so you're like this, because the flames are going straight up, and that's how you have to be. So, because otherwise, the flames would just be like in your mouth, and that's no good. So you want to see the flames, so you got to be upside down. So, so then somebody had taken a picture of me, but it's basically just like this. All you see is my neck, and then you just see the chest part because I'm leaning back, and you don't see the head. I had a giant alien head cone, a giant cone head, and it was all these colors. They made it all. They gave me these little tiny intricate designs all over my head, and these little leopard spots. I had leopard spots all down my face, and then they had all these leopard spots all up and down my back, like in my spine. It was so cool, but nobody will ever see it. It's a shame. If anybody out there, do you know Pat Jajinsky? What's his last name? Pat Janky?
That's for me. Who are you asking, me?
Yeah, anybody. Does anybody know Pat? Well, anyway, so Pat Jajinsky, him and Jeffrey Sargent does this radio show, and I can't think of the name right now, but I was on the radio show a couple years ago. But anyway, Pat is saying that he wants to try to find that footage of me from me being on Enterprise. I don't know if anybody.
Maybe one of the makeup guys have a picture of it, because they usually take continuity pictures, don't they? So they might have some form of that somewhere.
Yeah, I have no way of. I mean, it was so long ago. It was.
You remember who the makeup people were? Because maybe I might know them.
I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I didn't have the sense to write down their names, and I didn't think 20 years later I'd be like, oh yeah, who were those makeup people? Right. I wish I knew.
Maybe I can try.
Yeah, but as
We'll
far
get
as
Craig on
prosthetics,
the case.
oh, and in Disciples, I had
I'll
great
get my
makeup.
hat, my Sherlock Holmes hat.
Yeah, you didn't see Disciples, Greg, but Trista did. But I had fantastic makeup. Chris Mills. Well, we had two makeup artists. We had Tim Hayes, who did a lot of the makeup, and then we had because we shot some of it in Florida, and then the rest of it we shot in LA at a castle in the Hollywood Hills. And that girl, I don't remember her name. I think it's Lisa Wilcox, maybe. That might be her name.
Yeah.
She was the winner of America's Next Top Model.
Lisa Wilcox is in one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it mixed up. No, this girl, her name's Lisa something. So she lived in that house. She won. I don't know if she won the America's Next Top Model she was originally on, but she won the All-Star next America's Top Model. So she won that. So she was there. She lived there with her boyfriend. And so it's a beautiful, gorgeous castle up in the Hollywood Hills. So we shot there. And so Chris Mills of Shamrock Labs, he did this very elaborate demon face makeup. It was in the clip. Greg, if you watch this once we post it online, you'll see the intro clip that we showed, the first thing. And so you'll see the elaborate vampire makeup. It's really good. But yeah, I've done that a lot.
You're okay with it? Like, I know some people will wear it. I just worked on a show recently that's an anthology series. Once more, I can't talk too much about it, but the actor who was in it was in a series and was award-winning, very popular series that was on, I think it was on Netflix, and I can't say that it was, and you could tell she did not want to be wearing this makeup. You could just tell. Like, everyone walked in the door, goes, expect her to stop putting it on, and 2 minutes into it, she's not going to want to wear it. With 3 minutes into it, she goes, oh, I can't. I just can't. It's button.
Oh, no,
All
I
came
like
off.
it. I like it. I love it. I love being made up into some creature. I love it. What about you, Trista? Do you like it?
I like it too. Yeah. I mean, how can you complain about being transformed into a piece of art, right? It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had it done a lot. I really love it if I get to play a part where I can sit in the makeup chair and have them turn me into some creature. That's so cool. Yeah,
I'm glad to hear that. It's nice to hear that, because I've had both ends of the spectrum. I've had people that loved wearing it, enjoyed it tremendously, and you get some people who were just nudges the entire time applying it, and you go to see and you kind of say to them, I'm like, well, why did you take the part? You knew this was going to happen. And it's just a little, well, I didn't know it was going to be this. And I was just like, a lot of times they don't tell people either, producer would say, oh yeah, it's going to be a little bit of makeup. And you walk in the door and there's like a full cowl piece and facial pieces. And they go, I didn't know it was going to be like this. And it's just like, well.
I would love, it's my dream to like get some kind of, be able to be some kind of creature, like Doug Jones does.
Mm-hmm.
He does all these creature acting parts, and he's a very good actor. He's amazing, but he gets to play all these different like creatures and stuff. I just love it. I would love to do that. Anybody out there? I would do it.
Okay.
Oh, one movie that I forgot to give a shout out, because I'm trying to give a shout out to everybody. Let's see, what else am I working on? Well, I got stuff, but one thing I did want to mention, because I'm glad we got Michelle to sit in with us for a little bit so we could talk about that. Mm-hmm. But one film that that's really good that I did about a year ago, a little more than a year ago, was Teacher Shortage.
Okay. Yeah. I put the poster in the banner.
Yeah. Now it's not out yet. They're still working on it. They're working on. Troy Escamilla, the director, is putting it in film festivals, and of course, this year coronavirus. Hello. So it kind of put the kibosh, but it's already won an award. He already got a Best Director award for it at the Crimson festival, Crimson something festival, and so it's doing well. It's kind of a throwback to an 80s slasher film, and I can't wait for everybody to see that. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Troy.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're good. Cool.
Actually, is that a TARDIS in your back there? What is that?
This is an Ouroboros. That's an
No, not on you. It looks like a police box, red police box in the corner next to your television set. Keep going. It's like a red. Looks like a. There you go. See right there? Yeah. I thought it was a TARDIS for a minute.
Oh, the London thing.
Yeah.
That's for CDs.
Okay.
I believe the TARDIS is blue anyway, not red.
I'm sorry.
What
Maybe
is
it's
it
a red
called?
TARDIS.
What are you calling it?
A TARDIS.
It's from Doctor Who.
Oh, I know.
Not that I
People
know
think-
about these things.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just a kitschy thing. I don't know.
Yeah. But when I was in London, we took. I was with my friend Jason, and we took pictures with the actual phone booths like that.
I think I've got a ton of pictures from London that I never did post. I think I've got pictures of that too. Yeah.
I all my pictures, unfortunately, I'm very, very heavy, and I would like to retake them, but.
But
it's a good movie. It's good to see though, and it's like, hey, I used to look like that. But.
Oh, because you were heavy.
Right.
Yeah. Well, all my pictures when I'm in Vienna, I'm kind of fat, so you know. Because I was just eating a lot of schnitzel.
I thought the food was. Everyone told me the food's bad in England, but I thought it was very good. I don't know.
Yeah, England. Yeah, I mean, you can just get what you want, but I had some good like food that you would think of as being traditional English food. And Vienna has, do you know Vienna has the best sushi ever?
Oh, really? Interesting. What was weird about being in London, they had like KFC and TGI Fridays, and I was like, I don't want to go there while I'm in London.
No, I did go to some traditional traditional pubs.
I did too.
London.
Yeah.
Great food, but yeah.
It was ye old Cheshire cheese, and it was like this old pub from like the 1600s. And my friend Tim Dry, he's like, you got to go downstairs. It was on Fleet Street, which was pretty cool to me because that's where the Demon Barber Fleet Street Sweeney Todd is. And so underground, the downstairs is like carved, and so it's like you're in this weird dungeon in the bar downstairs. Fun. It was really cool, and like I guess it was used as a bomb shelter during World War II, and so it's got a lot of history to it. But it was pretty cool just to be there.
One of the times I was in London was during Halloween. It was so cool because all the pubs were decorated. It was so much fun. Yeah, I'm just so happy that I've been so lucky to travel for film work. It's been wonderful. I was supposed to go to Sweden to shoot something in Sweden before this stuff happened. So I don't know what's going to happen with those projects. They're on hold, but I'm hoping I get to go to Sweden sometime. That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Cool.
So Tristan, before we go, what do you got coming up, Tristan?
Well, like I said, I'm working with Debbie Rochon on that project as well. That also has Linnea, who you know as well.
What?
Yeah, Linnea's in that too.
Of course. Oh, I can't tell you. I'm going to be doing I might be doing a thing with Rhonda Shearer.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
Yeah. We'll have to have you back on when you can talk more.
Well, and I was on her show a few times back in the day with Linnea and some other people and Gilbert Godfrey and all those people. I think I was on the show like 3 or 4 times. It was good times. But what else you got? Who's the filmmaker of this film you're doing?
Oh, well, that's Brett Mullen.
Brett. Yeah, Brett.
Yeah. And I also worked with Michael Epstein and Sophia Cassiola on the film. That's how I met Neil. So,
that's the one we're not supposed to talk about yet.
Right? Yeah.
It was very fun.
You blew it. You blew it.
It's fine. It's out that we worked on it, but it's not any details. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thrilled to hear about that you guys worked together.
It was very fun.
Yeah, me too.
What about you?
principal photography, but I think I have a couple extra days with them when things are safer.
That's
Sorry.
wonderful. I think they're terrific. I would love to work with them someday too.
I
What
told
about
that
you,
I
Greg?
told that to Michael, and he was about it.
Well, with the
You told-
COVID,
Because we talked about that yesterday, that you'd like to do something with me, you, Trista, and Michael and Sophia.
I would.
I passed that along to Michael, and he was all about it. So.
Oh,
Maybe it'll happen.
good. I would love to work with them. What about you, Greg?
Craig, with the COVID, I have no idea when I'm going back to work. I haven't worked since March. Right now, I've actually been kind of like destroying a house. Basically kind of going back to skills that I kind of did before I was a makeup artist. So it's really going back to this, and I'm learning how to put on sheetrock.
Wow.
That's what I'm doing. Basically, that's what I've been doing. I've been doing stuff like this, and going back to my old hobby, which is old model kits.
Oh, very cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I've been going back to that. Give myself. Otherwise, I'm just waiting. You know, there's been a lot of. I mean, I'm not sure how the COVID. Everyone can talk a little about the COVID, how things are supposed to start, didn't start, or pushed to the back burner. So it was a lot of rumors flying around with the state. You know, because the stages have to present themselves. You know, in terms of the rules and regulations. So we've been hearing maybe August, maybe September. There was a show that I was on. We had 2 more episodes left. And we don't know what's gonna happen. And a lot of the people in it were kids, so we're wondering how they're gonna look when we go back and finish the episodes. Yeah, so I'm waiting, just waiting. That's all it is.
Well,
so I've been doing is taking part this house.
I got an email from Mark Pirro. He sent everybody emails saying, "Okay, get ready, everybody who's gained weight. You know, we want to make sure." Because I told him, I said, "Oh, Mark, you got to give me plenty of notice because I got like 10, 15 pounds to lose." He's like, "Okay, you better get on that." And he's like, and one of our actors, John McCafferty, apparently cut his hair, but like really short. So like he's got to grow it out before we can shoot again. I'm like, oh, good. I hope his hair grows slow because I got to lose this weight. Because as soon as his hair grows out, it's like, okay, we're getting going.
Yeah.
I do want to mention when we did the thing with Michael and Sophia, Trista was super supportive of me, which really helped my confidence in the movie. The first like feature film that I've even been on, never mind, you know.
Oh, wow.
Acting role in. So.
Wow. I had a feeling that you were a complete natural, wasn't he, Trista?
Yeah, and he had the best wardrobe. He had I think his wardrobe
I
really
sent you a picture.
Yeah. Yeah, he sent me a picture, the Bubba picture.
It's actually down here. I can't show all of it. But.
Oh, yeah.
He had a very fun character.
Yeah,
It was very fun.
that looked like a really fun shoot.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Well,
the next movie I played myself, and I thought I did terrible.
Well, you played yourself, like doing your show or something?
Yeah, I was Nasty Neil, and I could talk about a little bit about that one. It's a mockumentary about two actors who take credit for a 1970 slasher movie. They both say that they both played the character, and they both want to take credit for who was better at it. And it's inspired by a lot of real life stories like that. And then it's set in modern day when they're at a convention together.
Who's doing it?
Michael and Sophia.
Oh, that's them too. Okay.
Yeah.
And the Bubba thing that you worked on with Trista was them too.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think my chances are good. Maybe I have an in with Michael and Sophia.
I think you'll be good. I think you'll be good. Yeah. And they are very talented.
They are. They
Not
really,
just because they
really
let
are.
me sleep on their couch and their futon.
Yeah, they're sweet. Yeah. Well, I had a good time. I think. Do we have any viewers at all? I mean,
yeah, of course. Yeah, people have been watching the whole show.
People have been watching. Okay, well, I hope everyone was entertained.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you for doing the show, Deborah.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Was I a good guest?
You're
the
terrific
best guest.
Yes, I
Oh,
agree.
yay!
It's been over 3 hours. I think time just flew right by.
Oh wow! I think I got in everybody. I'm trying to remember. Did I leave anybody out? I feel bad if I leave people out. You know, it's like, oh, I forgot to mention such and such or so and so, and if I left you out and I'm working with you, I'm sorry. So there's a couple people that I'm definitely going to be working with, but it hasn't been announced yet, and I don't want to say anything. I can't say anything, but I got stuff.
Okay, we'll have you back on when you can talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, and you have to put better lighting on you because you're like fading into the background.
I didn't know I didn't know it was gonna go so long. I was using like sunlight.
Right. She's in natural light. Natural light. That brings out the.
Yeah.
I'm down in the basement, so I can't have that.
Somebody pay Trista's electric bill.
Please help me.
Help Trista. We'll
You can do a GoFundMe page.
Yeah, we can
We'll
send
do
her
a
like something like
GoFundMe.
this. Like
You
one
can
of
get
these
your lights turned back on.
Oh, we started at like 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, there was so much sun.
I know, I'm teasing.
Neil's showing off. He's got all these lights.
I know.
I was trying to say someone maybe could send a light like this to Trista.
Well, I didn't
want to get up and turn on the light.
I'm just messing with you. I understand.
I keep having to switch, rotate myself because I keep having to plug in my phone. So
there's one thing, I don't know why I haven't changed this yet. I'm just sitting on a folding metal chair, and it's very uncomfortable. I don't know why I've not brought like an actual chair down here.
Well, you're a big movie star now, Neil. Get yourself a damn chair.
I don't know about that, but yeah, I should do a better chair. And by the way, thank you for telling me I have a good voice. It's always good.
Oh yeah, I told him that earlier. Yeah, you have an amazing voice. I'm trying to place the voice that his voice reminds me of somebody famous's voice, and I can't think of it. But yeah, it's a very nice voice. Very good.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, and Craig.
Yes.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
I know you want
wait a second. Wait a second. Your name's Craig?
It's Craig, not Greg.
I've been calling you Greg.
I know. It's okay.
Why didn't anybody tell me? You guys didn't tell me his name's not Greg. I've been calling him Greg. You let me call him Greg all this time? Thanks a lot. Sorry, Craig.
It's fine.
Creepy Craig. Creepy Craig.
What's your last name?
Creepy
What's your last name, Craig?
Lindbergh. Just like the guy that went over the water.
Are we Facebook friends? I think we
Yes,
might
we are.
be.
Yes, we are.
Well, see, that's how lame I am. Sorry.
You invited me to like your drawer. Can you draw page?
Thank you. Thank you. Did you do it?
I will now. Yeah, I will. I will like it. Yes, I will like it. Yes, I will.
It's a very intimidating stare.
I know. I just wet myself. I will. I promise. I will.
Yeah, we're trying to get some good good attention to you like to draw. It's like I said, I already talked about it earlier, but it's going to be a very, very special film, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. And it's good. It's got a good message and everything, and yeah, it'll be good. So anyway, I should get off. Wait, that sounded dirty, didn't it?
That's a clip I'm
going to use. Get off now. I'm tired of you guys.
All right.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Deborah.
Thank you again.
This was so much fun.
This was really fun. I love you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
We love you.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Neil, for inviting me.
Yeah,
Thank you, Craig.
You're very welcome, Deborah.
Thanks, guys. And we got in some like serious talk too about serious stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't all about my boobs. Well, wait. I have to go back. The Ron Jeremy thing, yeah, that was about my boobs too. So it really is all about my boobs.
I guess so.
This whole thing has all been about my boobs, basically. I mean, even when we weren't talking about my boobs, it's still about my boobs.
Fair enough. On that note, goodbye, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.